Chris Ronchi, Amy Marks Kors, The Chris and Amy Show.
Check it out.
St. Louis, Mound City, we are going to have a great day today.
On 104.1 FM.
Let's take it from the top.
KMOX.
Good morning, friends. Welcome in. It is Thursday, October 16th, and we are doing a show today. You know how that stupid idiot, you heard it during the our open where he says, we're going to have a great day today? Liar. Guy's a liar. We're going to have a spectacular day today.
Wow.
Right? Let's go.
Why do you feel that way?
You know, just drugs. I don't know. I feel good. What do you mean? We're going to have a good day
I'm just
today.
a little surprised by how pumped you are.
I have to make myself feel this way because we are still in mid-80s weather in the middle of October.
I'm not going to lie. I'm struggling a bit. I think
nuts.
it's wearing me down.
Yeah.
It's all you have to do is get through tomorrow.
Yeah, get through tomorrow, and then we're getting into the 70s and then the 60s, and then hopefully it stays there and the stupid St. Louis weather doesn't continue.
The good news is it's going to cool off on Saturday, and also today is Thursday, which is the Friday of the weekdays, which means this is your last hard effort day because tomorrow we mail it in.
That's right. We always mail it in on Fridays because we love the post office and we, in honor of them, love to mail it in on Friday. 314-436-7900 to join the show. You can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We are at Chris Amy KMOX and also on the Odyssey app where you can listen to the show live. You can submit a voice message to us. Just tap, record, send it to us, and maybe you'll hear it on the show.
Time now for the top of the order. The top 3 stories everyone will be talking about.
Yosef Yasharallah has taken over as the interim sheriff here in the city of St. Louis for Alfred Montgomery, who is still in federal custody. And he had some interesting comments. At least I thought he had some interesting comments to Fox 2, and we will bring those to you.
And you've probably heard people are talking about it across the city, and that is longtime news anchor and sports anchor at KSDK, Rennie Knott, no longer with KSDK. It was rough.
They lost.
It was rough.
Lost to the Blackhawks 8-3.
Yeah.
And so they have had some troubles in this early part of the season in their own building. So we will talk about that.
Interesting. Yeah.
In the media and the Pentagon. Just whatever. We're going to talk to Major, get his thoughts on that, other stuff as well.
There are a lot of questions for Major. I just want to throw this out there. The $40 billion of aid potentially to Argentina, the 5th alleged drug boat strike. So a lot of questions. Glad we're talking with Major today.
Yeah. And I mentioned the weather and all that stuff. We're going to talk to meteorologist Jeff Nordine, our guy, because if you haven't noticed, there are areas where the leaves are turning those pretty fall colors, but apparently it's not happening the way it usually happens.
I thought, what is wrong with me? I have lived in St. Louis my whole life so far, and October 16th, I understand that the leaves in St. Louis generally don't hit their brilliant peak until late October.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes closer to November, but these leaves look like
they are either green still.
Yep, or they're just
dead
gone.
Brown.
Yes. They don't look like they're going to have a spectacular change. So we are going to talk to Jeff Nordine about that because this is not just a Midwest phenomenon. It's happening in the West as well as the Northeast. And that is a bummer. We're in the middle of a pretty serious drought right now. So even though I know rain on the weekend can be something of a bummer, if we do get some rain, it is much needed.
Absolutely. And it's going to be, I think, a pretty big storm.
I hope
they're telling us.
And I just want to say, we're going to keep an eye on that. Stay tuned to KMOX.
Yep.
Because we'll go into storm mode. We'll keep you safe.
Even on Saturdays.
Even on Saturday, we'll keep you safe. But I don't like wind. I love rain.
You don't like wind?
No. Seriously, I love rain. I love thunder and lightning. I do not like wind. Wind stresses me out.
So, Amy, as we've known, we're going to get to the Blues because they played against the Blackhawks last night, and it was not great. at
Mhm.
home, and kind of like to get your thoughts on.
Yes.
It's only been a couple of games.
And I do love, my cousin texted me, Will from Bloomington. You remember Will? He texted me last night about the game and asked if we had defense. And I was saying, this game proved me wrong. Everything that I said on Offside Hockey yesterday, the new show with Chris Kerber and me on Matrix Midwest. Don't you ever feel like a real doofus where you're giving your opinion on the game and what to look for and what you're excited about, and then you feel like
No,
you
you
really,
just have to
really,
move on, forget that you said it,
yeah,
move on to the next thing.
pretend
So-
it never happened.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are pretending that Alfred Montgomery never happened as the sheriff of St. Louis, including the person who is now the interim sheriff of St. Louis. We talked about him a little bit yesterday, Yosef Yasharala, who's been at the department for a long time, so he's got some experience. It's not like they just pulled him in off the street and said, "You're the new sheriff now." I just thought it was interesting, Amy, that usually when something like that happens, when a person is removed from a job, the people around him or even those who take over for him
Mhm.
are a little more, I guess, a little nicer. And
Yeah.
it's not that
Diplomatic.
diplomatic
More
is a better word.
diplomatic, yes.
Like, we're sad to see him
We
go.
regret that this has happened. It's-
Begrudgingly,
Yes.
I'm going to take
Yeah.
over as the interim sheriff. But Fox 2 caught up with him because they went to the office just to see what it looked like without Alfred Montgomery. And they ended up running into the new sheriff, the interim sheriff. And he had this quote. It says, "Thanks to the 22nd Circuit that believe in me, I know that I am the guy for the job," or they know that I am the guy for the job, which is usually not what you hear. Like, let's say a baseball manager gets fired in the middle of the season and they promote the bench coach to manager for the rest of the year. Usually that bench coach doesn't say, "Yep, I'm the guy. You got this one right, people."
Yeah.
But the fact that he did that, it just kind of leads me to believe that people in the department probably don't like this dude.
Yeah. No, I mean,
They don't like my sheriff.
even if they liked your sheriff, objectively, you have to admit that he brings nothing but chaos. And I do want to note, while Yasharala said that he's the man for the job, he also noted that he is not the sheriff right now. The sheriff, Alfred Montgomery, even though he's behind bars, still holds that position.
Now, he did say that to the press in general. To Fox 2,
Mhm.
though, when they asked him if he was consulting with the sheriff, about, the job and what to do, Yosef Yasharala said, "Nah."
I have not talked to him. So I've been here long enough. There's a lot of things that I was trying to enlighten him on when he was in his position. So I'm just going to allow the circuit to run according to the years that I've been here. I've seen it run. And then what I'm going to do is just input certain ideas that I've already had during the time of Sheriff Murphy.
Yeah, so basically what he is saying there is, no, this guy didn't know what he was doing. Other people knew what they were doing, so I'm going to emulate them, or I have a better idea. Basically, I think that you can read between the lines there. And yeah, maybe I'm speaking for the interim sheriff, and maybe he doesn't think this, but based on his quotes, I believe he does. The guy thought that the former sheriff, well, I can't say former sheriff,
right.
The currently imprisoned sheriff,
Mhm.
or
Behind
he's a
bars.
behind bars sheriff.
He's staying at the Gray Bar Motel.
Yes. Apparently that guy was just a real piece of work, and nobody, this guy did not respect him. I think it says a lot. It says a lot that you've got your deputies and people around you who just did not like working for you and seem to not have much respect for the job you did.
Yeah,
Which really saddens me because I spent so much effort and money. Do you know how much money I am out
at least
on my Save Our Sheriff campaign? Shave Our Sheriff.
Are you in the campaign with Sean Connery?
I do believe that all of our sheriffs should be clean shaven. No,
Shave Our Sheriff.
Totally
different campaign, though.
Totally different.
You could pretty seamlessly transition.
And Yosef Yasharala has a nice beard.
Yeah,
he's got a nice facial hair.
Well, then you don't want to do
No, I don't want to
Shave
do
Our
that to
Sheriff.
him.
At any rate, Yes, and you're right. You're probably out at least $1 from your efforts. But
And I can't get that money back.
as you mentioned yesterday, while the story for us can be humorous because if you don't laugh, you'll cry, gallows humor of, oh my gosh, the circus continues, the big top circus continues in the city of St. Louis, it is sad because it does show dysfunction. It makes us look very unserious. It is a waste of elected officials' time, and it's a waste of taxpayer dollars. So it's frustrating. I think the sooner, as much fun as we've had with your Save Our Sheriff campaign, I think the sooner this is done, the better. The Mayor Kara Spencer said yesterday that it's an absurd situation, which is a great way to put it. It's absurdity
that's exactly what
to the
it is.
highest degree, and said the sheriff should step down
Completely.
completely.
He could save a lot of people a lot of money, but if he sees himself as some sort of freedom fighter, which you have to believe he does, considering he literally compared himself to Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks.
Not great.
I don't see him backing down anytime soon, unless somebody with some influence gets in his ear and says, dude, you're going to have to just knock this off. The city doesn't need this crap.
All right. And then quickly, as we do go to break, we want to acknowledge the Blues are struggling at home. They lost 8-3 to the Chicago Blackhawks, which is not great.
No.
And what's interesting is that they've lost their 2 only home games so far. They've been outscored at home this season 13-3. Oh, geez.
Oh,
okay.
what the hell?
Matt.
That's
that's
what we're doing now?
Right?
That's what we're doing?
A handful of games into the season.
Already?
So it's a bit of a surprise because going into this season, the Blues had a 15-game unbeaten streak at home, including the last part of the regular season and the playoff series against the Winnipeg Jets. 15 games unbeaten streak. And I thought, well, this is going to be so fun. Let's continue this winning streak at Enterprise Center on the home sheet. And of course, they wet the bed against the Chicago Blackhawks.
Hey, hold on a second. Home sheet? Is that like sheet of ice?
Yes.
Is that what the hockey people say?
I believe so.
They say the home sheet?
Keep up, Ron.
I've never heard
Really?
that before. Yeah.
Really?
Oh, we're on our home sheet
Yeah,
tonight. You got to
'cause
be
it's
real
a sheet
clever.
of ice. It's your
yeah,
home
I get
sheet.
that's. Oh, you hockey people are so cute.
Oh, because
Just
because
adorable.
baseball doesn't have any unique phrases.
Well, baseball's been around for 150 years.
So it's hockey.
It has?
Yes. In fact, a fun hockey fact: the first hockey protective cup, like in hockey,
Here? For your
was
junk?
was invented in 1875, and the first hockey helmet, the old bucket, was invented in 1975, which means it took 100 years for guys to realize they also need their brains.
What did the hockey cup, the original, was it like a half of a sheep skull or something? What did they use?
I don't know. What did they use in baseball? Did catchers not wear anything?
I don't know the answer to that. I've never looked into it. It's some kind of hard plastic Kevlar kind of thing now, but
I don't think
know.
it was Kevlar in 1870.
They didn't have Kevlar back then. I don't know what the hell
Abraham
it is.
Lincoln.
Well, at any rate, the Blues need to start scoring some goals at home
They
and
will.
stop giving
Don't
up
worry.
so much.
They're not. They're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. Meanwhile, thank you for texting in 314-436-7900. We love to hear from you. A 314 says, I'm still wearing shorts to work.
You should not be wearing shorts to work.
That's not a weather
On
thing,
October
man.
16th, it should not be 85 degrees in October, middle of October. I'm angry.
Wow.
And I
He's
would like to
losing
file
it.
I'd like to file a complaint. I told you I was going to rip all of the equipment out of the room if it was still in the mid 80s in the middle of October.
I think, okay. Well, this guy, he's a joker. He's a radio goofing.
Well, all I know is you should not lose it in the office. Just don't lose it in the office. Chris and Amy on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome to Coffee House. How are you today?
Hi, great, thanks. May I get a sea salt caramel latte with almond milk, extra caramel, extra shot, iced,
Gross.
and to go, please. Did you get all that?
No, I was just ringing you up for all the extras. Can you repeat your order, please?
Oh, never mind. I'm just gonna go.
Stop paying extra for extras. Get fancy coffee without the fancy coffee price at Quick Trip. Raise your coffee bar.
In the fight against Alzheimer's, now matters more than ever because now we have new treatments that could change everything. This is Megan Lynch. Join me Saturday, October 25th at the Chesterfield Amphitheater for the St. Louis Walk to End Alzheimer's. It's the region's largest fundraiser to fight dementia and support those living with the disease because now is the time for action. You can join in the fight by registering for the walk at alz.org/walk. That's alz.org/walk.
Hi, I'm Nancy Cartwright. You may know me better as the voice of Bart Simpson. On Simpsons Declassified, we're diving into the mysteries that keep the Simpsons forever young. Have you ever wondered how the Simpsons regularly predicts future events? Who better to ask than the show's creators, performers, and writers, the celebrity guests? Be sure to follow and listen to Simpsons Declassified wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
This is the run my own business dream. This is the college is paid for dream. This is the retire early dream. This is Busey, where your dreams and possibilities become moments. Through trusted guidance and expertise, through lifelong relationships. Because we're here to help you achieve the life you've always envisioned. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
I dared Archwell Health to keep track of my vitals and my grandkids' names.
I dared Archwell Health to simplify my prescriptions, so Max and I have more time to play. Good boy.
And I dared Archwell Health to be closer than my neighborhood coffee shop.
Our members dared us to do more as a primary care provider for adults age 60 and up. So we made it our mission. Visit archwellhealth.com and become a member today. Archwell Health. We dare to care.
Don't miss Mosby Building Arts Home Improvement Shows, Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KMOX. One of the last call-in shows where you can get live answers to your remodeling, design, and construction questions. Tune in Saturdays at 11 a.m.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th. So go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
KMOX is now on 104.1 FM, the same great station with even better sound.
Well, you saw the news that Rennie Knott, longtime anchor and sports anchor as well at KSDK, in a sudden split with the station, and they have, quote, parted ways. And so not much information there. That's about all we know. And so kind of a shock for the St. Louis media because, or the St. Louis market, I should say, because Rennie is such a staple. People have watched him in the mornings forever. I remember, gosh, when I was younger, and he was a sports guy. And I'm trying to think, did they just celebrate 20 years. Last
Who's that?
year, Rennie Knott being at KSTK.
I'm
Maybe
not
it was
exactly
longer
sure.
than that. Yeah.
Frank is saying yes. It was 20 years.
I
But I
think
know
that
it's
was
been a long
last
time.
year. I think last year. Yeah, it was his 20-year anniversary. So yeah, pretty wild to see that changeover.
So I don't know what happened here. This does not appear to be a layoff. Usually if it's that, the station will say we've had a layoff, or you will have heard that it's a layoff. To me, something happened, and I don't know that to be the case for sure, but I think you have to kind of figure that there was something going on here, because we know management really liked him a lot. People really liked him. The viewers liked Rennie. I like him too.
Yeah.
I mean, I've met him a couple of times. Really nice guy. So I don't know what it is. It's sad, and hopefully it's not anything crazy serious, because when he was asked about it by reporters, he referred them to the station and said you should ask them instead.
Yeah.
So it leads me to believe something went down. I just don't know what it is or how serious.
Right. Whenever people are super tight-lipped and it's just we've parted ways, especially this is not a guy who was there for a year and a half. This was not someone who was there for 2 years. When you have a staple, when you have an anchor, when you have someone who's been there for 2 decades, you just don't know. You don't know.
I just know that if it is a restructuring or a layoff or we're having to cut costs or something like that, you got to find out about that very quickly. Usually, that was the intent behind the move. So the fact this is a little more secret, or there's little information about it, it leads me to believe something went down. And then hopefully it's not anything too bad.
Meanwhile, kind of on the opposite end of that spectrum, today, I believe this very day is Dave Glover's 25th anniversary
25
on
years.
radio.
Good Lord, 25 years.
Happy anniversary, Dave Glover.
Wow.
Matt, were you born?
Yes, I was a year old.
He was a baby.
You were 1 year old?
What if your mom was like walking around the house and you were in a diaper, she was holding you and listening to Dave Glover?
She probably did.
What was the number one song in the country in October of 2000? Was it something from Diddy? I bet it was.
Oh my gosh. Why don't you check? Why don't you check right now? Well, it's been fun. Like I said, congratulations to Dave Glover, the DGS. 25 years is pretty impressive, especially when you look at how much the world has changed in 25 years and how it's hard to stay relevant. It's hard to still be the type of entertainment that people want. I think it's a huge testament to Dave. I think it's a huge testament to the medium of radio, because you get to know people, and people have gotten to know Dave for 25 years.
When Dave started his show in 2000, the 2 number one songs that month of October 2000, Come On Over Baby from Christina Aguilera.
Oh.
And Independent Women by Destiny's Child.
How does that go?
All the women independent, throw your hands up in the air. You know that one?
That's pretty good. I don't.
You don't know that song?
No.
Come on, dude. How do you not know that?
2000, I was just coming out of the Amy Grant, Michael W. Smith years, probably.
Good grief.
What? Good gravy.
Good grief. Amy Grant.
Amy Grant still
I know
slaps.
that you still talk about it.
Baby Baby is a song that holds up.
Weren't the Christian people upset that she went mainstream?
I mean, not the Christian people I know. I'm sure there's always somebody who goes upset in the same way that people were mad that the Kings of Leon sold out.
Sold out?
Sold out like their souls.
To whom?
Pop music.
Were they?
Yeah. Did you listen to Youth and Young Manhood? Their first album, totally different sound.
Were they a Christian band?
No. Oh gosh, no. They are the opposite of a Christian band.
Yeah.
I just meant they changed like their style. Like they got a little poppier, went mainstream. Youth and Young Manhood, their first album, is way grittier and nastier. And then they sold out with like Sex on Fire and that song. And people are like, I'm not listening to Kings anymore.
I have never heard that about them.
Really?
I've never heard that people were upset with their shift. Anyway, all right. So congratulations. Congratulations to Dave Glover, 25 years. Guy's been a staple here in St. Louis for a quarter century. You know, a quarter century is a long time. I don't want to hear him go, I'm a quarter century old, because you know how I feel about that.
314, I hope Amy doesn't have a Petra tramp stamp, which is so hilarious because I forgot about Petra. Oh my God.
What is Petra? Is that like
It's
Striper?
an old band, I guess. There you go.
There you go. This is it, Amy. It's Chris and Amy on 104.1 FM KMOX. 7 in 10 college graduates say their degrees are paying off for them. And it's not true for everybody. We're going to talk to the Vice President of Research with Strata Education Foundation. Nicole Torpey-Sabo is next on KMOX.
From Cardinals Nation to Chiefs Kingdom, from the Zoo to Enterprise Center, St. Louis turns to the Gas House Gang for the biggest stories in sports.
The Gas House Gang on KMOX.
It's must-listen radio at noon, hosted by Tom Ackerman, Chris Ranchi, Mike Claiborne, and Bernie Nicholas. 4 of the most informed and trusted voices in St. Louis sports. The Gas House Gang, weekdays at noon on 104.1 FM and 11:20 a.m. KMOX.
Community America is stepping up in St. Louis and showing what excellence in banking looks like. Or in other words, they're winning. Opening more branches? Win. Competitive loan rates? Win. Wealth management? Win. Which now makes sense why they asked me, Cardinal shortstop Mason Wynn, to tell you. That's win with 2 N's, not 1. It's time to bank like the Mason winner you are. It's time your financial partner was invested in you. Member owned, open to all. Community America Credit Union, invested in you.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Currently it is 66 degrees, partly cloudy, very warm today, a high of 85. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 60. Weather sponsored by Sachs Financial.
Hey, it's Jeff Sachs at Sachs Financial. Did you know that you have a pension and there are ways to maximize how you take it? That's right. It's called Social Security. Find out more at retiresafestl.com/guide. That's retiresafestl.com/guide.
Or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Let me tell you about this new Pretzel Cheddar Club. Hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ebony. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club
is the tangy Dijon with the pretzel bun. It takes it to a whole nother level.
Club with Cherry Berry and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
October is National Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Quiver River Electric takes our role in managing potential cyber threats to our members' data seriously. Stay protected at home or work with these tips. Don't click on links or attach files from unknown senders. Treat all Wi-Fi networks as a possible risk. Never check financial or other sensitive information when using public Wi-Fi. Create strong passwords and keep them private. A cyber safety message from Quiver River Electric Cooperative.
Sunday, the Chiefs face the Raiders at Arrowhead.
St. Louis Cancer Center game time, 11 a.m. St. Louis Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer.
The Chiefs, the Raiders, on your home for Chiefs football. 104.1 FM KMOX.
Seems the discussion lately, and we've had the discussion a number of times over the last couple of years on this show, the cost of college being pretty high and for some people unaffordable, and maybe not even really the path that a lot of people want to take. And there are various reasons for that. One of them is that because the cost is so high, it doesn't really pay off, or at least that's the perception. Well, there is a new study that suggests otherwise, that people do believe that college is paying off for them, but it's not true everywhere. To discuss this with us, the Vice President of Research with the Strada Education Foundation, Nicole Torpey-Sabo, is with us on KMOX. Nicole, good to have you. How are you?
It's great to be here.
So tell us about this study, because what it says to us is that 7 in 10 graduates say, in fact, their degrees are paying off for them over the course of the first 10 years after graduation. That number seems a little surprising to me. Are you surprised it's that high?
I'm not surprised. And one thing I do want to point out, this part of the research is not an opinion survey. So this comes from census data on how much people are earning, how much college graduates are earning versus how much high school graduates are earning. And so I think the debate is often one side saying, on average, you make a lot more money when you have a college degree, which is true. But the other side saying, but there's so many people who it doesn't pay off for, which can also be true. So I think it kind of helps us to understand that it does pay off for about 7 in 10, but then there's another 3 in 10 that we need to figure out how to deliver better value.
It's such an interesting point, and I don't want to poo-poo one of the great universities, which is Washington University right here in St. Louis, but it is a very expensive university. They're also quite famous for their social work program. A lot of social workers come out of that program, Washington University, which is great. It's prestigious, but it also costs like $75,000 a year, which isn't even close to what most social workers are going to make. So I guess I wonder, is that a good deal?
Right. And so, we focused our research on public universities, mostly because that's kind of the partners that we work with at states. But you're right, private institutions in some cases are even more expensive. It depends on what kind of financial aid they offer. And I think that's why it's really important to have this transparency around what college costs and what graduates earn, so that families can be really well informed before they make those kinds of decisions.
So again, 7 in 10 graduates, their degrees are paying off for them over the course of 10 years. Can we define that exactly, what it means to pay that off, or what it means for it to actually be worth it for them to have gone to college and gone through all that?
Yep. And so this is looking at the financial aspect. Obviously, there's other benefits that people get from college. But when we're looking at it, we compare the earnings of people with bachelor's degrees and associate degrees to people of the same age in the same state with a high school degree only. And then we look at how much it costs to pay for public education in that state. And so most people are earning a bit more. The question is, are you earning enough above what you would have to be able to pay for that degree, especially if you have to borrow and take out loans?
You also, in the study, look at, the different regions. And you mentioned that across the country, there's a wide variation between people who say the degrees pay off to those who don't. One example, 82% of people in Washington, D.C. feel that the degree pays off, while just 53% of people in North Dakota feel that way.
Yeah, that's right. And the differences that we see, some of that has to do with the cost of education, but a lot of it has to do with what kind of jobs are available in that area. So in Washington, D.C., there are many, many job opportunities for people who have college degrees. And that's not necessarily the case everywhere in the country. In some states, there are more, not relatively more, but there are opportunities for people with high school diplomas to earn a decent living. And it just depends on, do you really get that reward for a college degree or not? Some of that is, the local economy. And there are things that colleges can do to ensure that their graduates are more prepared to see that value.
So, for example, what can colleges do?
Yeah. So a couple things that are really important. One is just giving students and families the information about what kinds of jobs are available and what the degrees are that lead to those jobs. Surprisingly, a lot of people either never get that information or they get that information maybe when they're a senior already about to graduate. And at that point, it's a little bit late to be, you've already made your decision about what to study. And so you can't pivot as easily. And then the other thing is to help students get real work experience before they graduate. So getting an internship, getting some kind of job that is aligned with their field of study before they graduate. Because it's really hard, no matter what degree you have, to land that first job if you don't have any relevant work experience.
Yeah, it seems like the more you can plan or have a vague idea of where do you want to live, where do you want to work, what exactly do you want to do, all of those factors should go into your decision, obviously, for choosing a degree in college. But sometimes I feel like it's such a basic approach to a college degree that I don't know, at least for millennials like my age, I feel like we skipped. It was kind of like, hey, as long as you get a 4-year degree, you're good to go. But with the cost being so high, thinking about practically how does this play out could go a long way in helping you pay off your degree.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. It's no longer enough to just sort of assume that no matter what, no matter where you go, no matter what you study, you're going to be fine. You have to put some thought into it and make sure that you're getting the right kinds of skills and experiences along the way.
So how is this changing now with AI? Because there is a fear that for a lot of jobs, maybe immediately post college, jobs that normally would be taken by people who are, again, just graduating as they enter the workforce, that maybe some of those are eliminated because of AI. How does this change things then? Because if you've graduated, it's happening so quickly. How does a student who's coming out of college adjust to that?
Yeah, that's such a good question. I think it really underscores even more the importance of trying to have good information about where the jobs are and what the skills are that are needed, and trying to work with companies to get that experience. Because again, the jobs for people with no experience are increasingly going away. So how do you get that experience before you even graduate? And, we're still waiting to see how that's going to really impact all of this. It's not probably showing up in our data yet, but I think it will over the next few years.
I think, too, as we start to give high school students more viable options for a career, we've talked a lot about the trades, the need for more carpenters, for more plumbers and electricians, and how that could be a really great opportunity for a pretty successful career with a lot of job security for kids. That if we can help put kids on the right path or choose that right trajectory earlier on, that would also cut down on the number of degrees that don't quote unquote pay off because maybe you change your mind or maybe that's not the field you want to go into. The more options we have, it would channel students with higher rates of success to those appropriate fields.
Yeah, one of the things we look at is where are there shortages in jobs that are high paying and have a lot of demand. And those trades are definitely something that we see across nearly every state, that there are more openings than there are people that are prepared to fill them. And so counseling students early on about apprenticeship options or community college options that lead to those kinds of work is really important.
Is there a way or a place to go for people to learn more about all of what we're talking about today?
Yes. So the website is stateopportunityindex.org.
stateopportunityindex.org. Nicole Torpey-Sabo, Vice President of Research at Strata. We appreciate your time. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much.
So, has my college degree paid off yet? I'm trying to figure it out.
Well, okay, let me say this. When you went right after the Civil War ended, it was probably more affordable.
No.
What? It is more affordable because you went to school.
Well, it was more
30
affordable,
years
but
ago.
I wouldn't say it was affordable.
I didn't say affordable, but more affordable.
I went to a state school too.
Yeah, because the rate that college tuition has increased has far surpassed the rate of inflation. Far surpassed the rate of inflation.
Yeah, it's way
that's
too
why
expensive.
we talk about even people who are 20, 30, 40 years old. They're facing a much different financial and economic situation than our parents did when going to college and getting a house while still requiring saving, right, and hard work, was a little bit more in the range of feasibility. But I mean, right now, Vanderbilt, and I get it, not a public university, but Vanderbilt became the first university last year to have an undergraduate degree cost more than $100,000 per year.
Dude. Yeah, it's too much.
$100,000 a year.
Way too much.
That's absolutely insane. But I do think I have friends who regretted their degrees and for various reasons, chemistry, and changed her mind and said, I hate this.
Well, chemistry is very specific.
It is, right?
Yeah.
I think there was probably pressure, that like, hey, in this family, we get PhDs.
Right.
But I think she opened a dog grooming business.
Oh, she didn't like chemistry that much?
She did not.
Well, we do need chemists, so.
But we also need dog groomers.
Yeah.
But my point,
do we?
Yes. My point is.
You can't groom your own dog?
Well, my point is, one, that would open up a spot for someone who wants to go into chemistry. And two, that's the whole point about were degrees worth it? Because she would be maybe one of those who said, hey, for my career and for my life trajectory, that wasn't worth it because I wanted to do something else. And that's why I think we need to give kids more options. Whether you're going into, like, say, I think we should show kids the options of, yes, the trades. And that would include like working at like salons and being artists with makeup and hair. You need all of that, plumbers, electricians. And I just think for the millennial age group, we focused so heavily on the 4-year degree that we did a bit of a disservice to kids who would have liked other fields.
Yeah, I mean, we need it all. We need people who are in these more niche fields like chemistry. We need scientists. We need people to do that stuff. We also need people to be plumbers. So we all move forward if all of those jobs are abundant. And I think it's important that kids do have the options, like you say. When we come back, we need to, later on at 10 o'clock, we're going to talk to Jeff Nordine, meteorologist, about why the fall colors suck this year and why the trees are either green or brown and there's no in between. And why it's still hot. Why is it still 85 degrees on October 16th?
He's losing it.
I am losing
George
it.
is getting upset.
Did you see this next on 104.1 FM KMOX?
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
More and more now I'm hearing when all my customers that are calling and setting up appointments for looking at different types of furnace and air conditioners, they're calling in because of all the years that I've said there is a common sense approach, and they want to see what that is. Well over 95% of the people are very happy that they did call me. I'm not saying that they purchased anything from me, but they're extremely happy that they did call me. It's not being cheaper. It's being explained in such a way to where they can make an honest decision for themselves and their family and what's best for their pocketbook. When you start getting prices for the furnace and air conditioners, call me. It's one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. Again, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Again, that's 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, it is bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
KMOX proudly supports the Musial Awards, returning to Stiefel Theater Saturday, November 22nd. You can be in the audience for this nationally televised event, hosted right here in St. Louis. Named for Stan the Man, the show celebrates the year's greatest moments of sportsmanship and those who embody class and character. Experience the extraordinary moments and people that make the Musial Awards an event like no other. For more information, KMOX.com/events.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you an HR manager, business owner, or leader looking to retain your best people? Nearly 1 in 4 employees is caring for an aging loved one, a challenge that often leads to distraction, absenteeism, and costly turnover. The CARES program from AgeSmart Community Resources connects your employees to expert caregiver support, helping them stay focused and productive at work. Discover how CARES can boost retention, improve ROI, and cut costs for your business. Visit agesmart.org or call 618-222-2561. Proudly serving 7 counties in Southwest Illinois.
Hey, just check the mail. We've been invited to a seminar and dinner is free.
It's going to be chicken, and it'll taste like Play-Doh.
Don't be fooled. All seminars are not the same. For example, Steve All, an investment advisor representative and founder of the All Financial Group, will be hosting his Taxes and Retirement Seminar at his office in Chesterfield on October 28th. From the big beautiful bill to taxes on your Social Security, Steve will not only cover the hurdles you'll face in retirement, but ways to keep more money in your pocket and less in Uncle Sam's. This is a complimentary event, but seating is limited, so reserve your seat today. Call 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
You know, hon, I've always been interested in us buying a timeshare.
I'd rather eat Play-Doh.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, or registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Chris and Amy now. The Dave Glover Show at 1 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
Ranj, hang on to your phone, especially if you visit jolly old England.
Okay.
So London police have recently launched a crackdown on thievery. Because how many phones do you think were stolen in London last year alone?
In London
last year alone, 2024.
200,000.
Okay. Well, you know what? You can't play the game anymore.
Is it 200,000?
No, it's 80,000. But now 80,000 doesn't sound like a lot because you overshot it.
Let me guess.
Okay.
500?
Okay. No, 80,000.
80,000?
Yeah. Which I think sounds like a lot. 80,000 phones in 1 year.
That is a lot.
Matt, do the math. Divide 80,000 by 365. At any rate, yes, they did 2 weeks of raids last month on suspected middlemen, because these are not just like pickpockets who are then taking the phone. This is like a whole operation where these guys are literally the middlemen between the victims and the phones that go to, guess which country? China. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So most of those phones were sent to China, and it's a whole operation, and it's very, very lucrative for the thieves. Matt?
219 phones a day.
It's a lot of phones.
That is a lot of phones.
That's a lot of phones. And the newer phone models can fetch as much as $5,000 per phone in China. And I'm not sure why.
Why?
I don't know.
You could buy one for $1,000, a new one.
Yeah.
Is it different in China?
It says thieves can unload the phones in the UK for more than $400 each,
Okay,
which
that
is
makes
more than 3 times the pay for a full day of work at minimum wage. And then those newer phones, which go to China, can then fetch as much as $5,000. In that country, I don't know why. It doesn't say, but that's very interesting. And I do think that 80,000 phones a year, this is not in England, Ranj. This is just London.
That's
200 and how many? 95?
What an operation that is.
a day.
That's
a
insane.
lot. I mean, that means, don't you think, like, you're walking around London, you would have a chance of seeing someone go, oh my gosh, my phone's gone. Anyway.
Did you ever broken your phone?
Okay. Knock on wood, I have not. And I have dropped it on like tile and rocks.
My phone. I have broken my phone one time. I was getting on the subway. I was rushing to get to the train because I heard the train pull up and I thought, oh gosh, I better get there because it's about to leave. And so I went through the turnstile and I swiped the ticket and it didn't take the first time. So the turnstile, I kind of ran into it and I thought, okay. So I swiped again and I went, got on the train. I sat down. I pulled out my phone, spiderwebbed. And I thought, what the hell?
What?
And then I realized it was the shape of the turnstile bar because I had the phone in my pocket and I ran right into the turnstile bar and broke it because it didn't give.
Frustrating.
Super frustrating. It's the worst when you break your phone.
Okay.
Did you see, Amy,
Yes.
Consumer Reports testing protein powders? You take protein powders and protein shakes, don't you?
No.
Well-
Everybody does, but I do not. I'm anti-protein powder. If you're going to get protein, I want to get it from a chicken.
Well, we know Matt Pajeski does. If you've smelled the gas, you know that he's a big protein.
That's so mean.
Well,
but I will
it's
say
mean
this.
that he does what he does in the office.
Having like family members and like teenage boys who are taking tons of protein powder, the protein powder flatulence is unlike any. It could be used as a weapon of war, honestly.
So Consumer Reports tested 23 protein powders, and they found that for more than 2/3 of them that were analyzed, a single serving contained more lead than CR, Consumer Reports, food safety experts say is safe to consume in a day. Some of them more than 10 times the amount you're allowed.
Well, that seems bad.
Yep.
So, and I would assume, like, all joking aside, like the younger you are, the more affected by lead you are, correct?
Yes, that's my understanding
With developing
too. Yes.
brains and so
Yeah.
forth. So I'm
But it's-
imagining teenage brains, because all these teenage kids are taking protein powder.
So the advice from Tunde Ekinlay, I believe I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but a chemist and food safety researcher with Consumer Reports, they say that we advise, quote, we advise against daily use for most protein powders since many have high levels of heavy metals and none are necessary to hit your protein goals. So, if you're on the protein powder, think twice.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, if you want protein from peanut butter, you might not be able to get it from Trader Joe's. We'll get into this later, I think. Smucker's is accusing Trader Joe's of like copying its Uncrustables. But have you been to Trader Joe's?
No.
That's what Trader Joe's does. They do the Trader Joe's version of everything else that's out there. We'll get into this. I am pro Trader Joe's. I will march for Trader Joe's.
That's weird.
Why? It's so good. You want to save value, save money? Anyway.
Tell Smuckers to stick it anyway. Stick it to the man. How about Jeff Nordine, our favorite meteorologist? He is going to join us next, and he's going to tell us why the weather is still hot, and it shouldn't be, because this is BS. And also why the leaves are ugly.
Well, come on,
We're not getting the pretty leaves. We'll talk to Jeff Nordine next on KMOX.
I met my wife in law school at the University of Florida. She was from upstate New York and I was from Kentucky. We met at a daily mass at St. Augustine's. She was the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen in my life. After communion, I followed her out of the church and got her phone number. The rest is history. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Little did we know that one day we would have 4 children and the largest injury firm in the world. All 4 work in the business. It's a family business. Did I ever see this coming? Hell no. We just worked very hard and treated our clients like we would want to be treated, like family. It's a full-service injury firm, auto accidents, medical malpractice, workers' compensation, Social Security, and insurance disputes. We're open 24/7, 365 days a year. Visit forthepeople.com and we can get to work on your case. No recovery, no fee. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Hi, Stacy with Fairwinds Rivers Edge Senior Living in St. Charles. Are you a senior seeking a fun retirement? Do you want less work and more play? Do you want to enjoy great food that you don't have to cook? Then I know. Stop what you're doing right now and call Fairwinds. Set up a time to visit and have a meal. Meet some of our awesome residents. Check us out online at fairwindsriversedge.com. We hope to talk with you soon.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
It is 10 o'clock. We've got some clouds in downtown St. Louis, 70 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterey. Another lawsuit filed in Missouri's Republican congressional map saga.
Missouri Attorney General Catherine Henaway filed a federal lawsuit to stop the activist group People Not Politicians from forcing a vote on the new Republican congressional map, saying the Missouri Constitution explicitly gives authority to draw maps to the legislature, not voters. She claims the lawsuit aims to protect Missouri's authority from being, quote, hijacked by out-of-state dark money groups, close quote. 100,000 signatures already gathered by People Not Politicians are not valid because they were collected before the Secretary of State officially approved them to be collected. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
The U.S. Justice Department expected to seek a grand jury indictment against former National Security Advisor John Bolton this afternoon. We get more from CBS's Scott McFarland.
John Bolton's home and his office in Washington, D.C. were searched in August by federal agents under a court-approved search warrant. And we know from our reporting in the time since that among the things agents secured during those searches were electronic devices, and that it's an investigation into the potential mishandling and misappropriation or unlawful possession of classified records.
Of course, President Trump was facing his own classified documents case, which got delayed long enough for him to be sworn in as president, and then his Justice Department dismissed all criminal charges against him in January. The success of City Foundry is a good argument to think twice about putting a massive data center across the street at the Armory. That's according to Steve Smith, the CEO of New and Found, the people behind the Foundry, and two large new apartment buildings across from IKEA and next to the SLU campus. Smith tells St. Louis Magazine city leaders should prioritize projects that make St. Louis a destination. The Foundry has become one of the city's most visited attractions, and Smith says the district should be a destination and a hub of innovation and community building. Another safe haven baby box is going to be installed in our area. These boxes allow for a baby to be left in the climate-controlled, secure box confidentially. An alarm goes off, alerting first responders. This one will be at the Florissant Firehouse number 1, and it's the first one in North St. Louis County. It's funded entirely by donations. The Business Desk, sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com. Bella's on Washington Avenue is closed, but the frozen yogurt shop will reopen later this year as an all-day cafe with a full bar. Owner Corey James is doing the rebrand in partnership with Oliver Properties, which has taken over a number of buildings on Washington Avenue and plans to open a food hall soon. James, who's run Bella's for 7 years, says it's time to reinvest and reimagine what a true downtown coffee house can be, giving downtown residents and visitors a place to connect morning and night. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather
Tons
Desk.
of clouds and sunshine this afternoon. We'll stay warm with a high of 83. Low 63, partly cloudy tonight, then partly sunny and warm, high 84 tomorrow. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zare on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 70 degrees and we've got clouds in downtown St. Louis. The weather sponsored by the Pauley Agency. In a world of cookie cutter health plans, the Pauley Agency is proud to represent coverage that's tailor-made to fit your needs. The Pauley Agency puts the sure in insurance. For a free quote, call 636-222-2149, 636-222-2149. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Changing the weather. Hour 2 of 3, the Chris and Amy Show from 9 to noon every weekday. Amy Marks, Kors, Chris Ranji. It is time to go to the guest line this morning because I am beside myself. And I said it 2 weeks ago that if we were in the middle of October and it was still mid-80s, I was going to absolutely lose my stuff because it's fall. Let's get blanking serious here.
Whoa.
And the weather is still too damn hot. The weather is too damn hot. And it is, the leaves look like crap.
Yeah.
They're not turning yellows and reds and oranges. What is going on? Let's talk to our resident meteorologist, who we do not pay, Jeff Nordine. Jeff Nordine is with us on KMOX. How's it going, Jeff? Thanks for being here for free again.
Well, we barely get paid, Jeff, so it's, we're all in the same boat together.
I get paid in exposure is how I would, explain it. And it's also just really nice to hear you guys again and, get to be back with one of the best shows in St. Louis, right?
The only best show.
The only best.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Well,
we did lose a contest, though, because Amy didn't tell anybody to vote for us.
I did forget that. It's one of those, popularity contests.
Amy.
I know. If it was, I can sell other people. You know what I mean? Like I can say, hey, vote for Jeff, vote for Ranj. But when it's me, I'm like, no, it's okay. I don't know.
No, it's okay.
Jeff, I kind of agree with Ranj. It has been pretty darn hot. And I know we are going to eat our words when it is raining and 39 degrees, like one of those awful, gross temperatures where you just feel like pneumonia or something is going to happen because you're going to be wet and cold. But this is very unusual to have this warm of a fall, is it not?
It is. Looking back, even back into September, pretty much half of the month, if not a majority, was well above the average high, which is trending down at pretty much since mid-July. It actually starts to trend downward. But the overall, last few months have been trending above average. And in terms of the factors that go into, the intensity of the colors, how long they're going to last, it does take into effect the health of the trees. It also takes into effect the temperatures. The way to get, brightest, vibrant colors is warmer days, believe it or not, and a cool night. Unfortunately, we have the warmer day or hot day and not so cool of a night.
So why is this happening now? Is there any real explanation for it? Is it, people get pissed when you mention climate change. Is it that, though? Is that the reason that things are happening the way they are? Or is it just a fluke?
So, every year that we, go by is all compiled into the long range outlook and also the past. So when you speak climate change, that's a 100-year of 50 to 100-year thing that we're talking about trend wise. We will have extremes and we'll have high extremes, meaning well above average years, and then we're going to have these years that are at or below average. So, but when you compile them all together, the general trend has been up. But it's like I said, you could have one year where it's normal to below average, pretty much throughout the entire year. So the extremes are getting, I guess for lack of a better term, more extreme.
When you look at the trees around the area in the Midwest, in the Northeast, even out west. People are noticing. They're not seeing the bright, vivid colors or really the beginning of those. I'm looking outside our studio now, and the leaves are either still green and look a little wilted, or they're dried up and brown already. Is this the drought causing the leaves to not be turning vivid colors?
Well, so yeah, there's multiple factors, as I mentioned. The drought is up there. I mean, we're in what's called D2, a severe drought in St. Louis. Other areas of the country have been experiencing a drought as well. If we're looking at just the Midwest, Illinois is pretty much completely covered with a couple bullseyes for extreme drought, mainly south of like Chicago. Indiana has a couple hot spots in the center and just to the east over by northwest Ohio. So, I mean, drought is around. That's one thing. And again, the temperatures. So when you have stretches of above normal temperatures, that's your hot air. I'm not going to use the word warm. Warm would be a couple degrees above average. And then a cool night is either around average or just a little bit below. We haven't had that in St. Louis. That's why the colors are not catching up. Another reason is something called urban heat concentration. So cities typically have less fall colors. And actually, it's funny looking at the map. If you look at St. Louis, it's being reported as low to maybe even like an early moderate. Jefferson City and Columbia are higher. The more northwest you go in the state of Missouri, the higher the colors are, or the more vibrant the colors are.
And not to harp on the drought thing and the leaves, but I guess the reason why I'm still on it is I feel like I've heard in the past, like, well, the leaves aren't going to be great this year because we had too much rain. It was too wet. And then I feel like also sometimes people will say, well, we don't know exactly how to predict a vibrant fall. Is there any truth to either of those, that too rainy of a summer can hurt the colors, and also that we don't really know how to predict a good fall?
It can push it back is what can happen. Too much rain obviously can kill trees. It just drowns it. But enough of it that is on the higher side. So if you're on the higher side of rainfall amounts, that can actually delay when the fall colors, peak. Typically it's around mid to late October. But if you're in a drought, it will usually either drought is also the lower extreme, right? So you can have trees that aren't healthy and they are dying early. For example, Minnesota, they have, very dry conditions in some spots. And actually looking at the fall color map, it makes sense that a lot of places up north are past peak because the drought is higher there. Whereas in the cities in south, drought's not as bad, and it's currently sitting at around high color to about peak.
Talking to Jeff Nordine, meteorologist on KM. I think we're calling him the Chris and Amy personal meteorologist.
Yes.
So Jeff Nordine,
our weather insider.
We have him on retainer. We paid him $1, so he is on retainer.
$1, okay.
Yeah. I'll Venmo you later.
Okay.
So Jeff Nordine with us, and we know that we're getting some. This is a two-parter here. So we're getting the storm allegedly on Saturday. How confident are we it's going to happen? How bad will it be? When's it going to happen?
Well, it looks like Saturday pretty much from start to finish. It's going to be heavy thunderstorms at times, and there could even be some strong storms embedded. We'll have to see what the Storm Prediction Center puts out. Right now it's a marginal to slight, which is a 1 or 2 out of 5 on their scale. So there's a potential for it to be on the stronger side. Now, is it a guarantee? Of course not. But looking at the overall trends for Saturday, it's going to be a line of showers and storms, right? So it's oriented from southwest to northeast, going to be pushing through early in the day, and then it kind of stalls out over St. Louis and southern Missouri for a majority of the day. Heaviest storms, because of peak heating nowadays, is a little bit later in the day. The strongest storms are going to be occurring in the late afternoon to early evening. I had to think about my timing there. By the time we get to midnight and later, it'll actually be more into Illinois and pushing through with some very heavy rainfall amounts into Indiana.
Okay, and with that storm, if we get one day of heavy rain, does that change all the stuff we're talking about with the leaves and, whether or not they change or how that all happens?
Couple things here with that. So it'll obviously help, right, in terms of, getting the drought condition lowered by having some heavier rain push through. Unfortunately, with heavy storms, we can also be talking about strong winds. And any trees that have weaker leaves, those could lose their leaves. And so even if they're not, peaking, even if they're not showing color, well, if they're off the tree, they're not going to do much more changing. So
I feel like the weather's going, oh, you're complaining about the color of leaves? How about you get no leaves? That's it.
Yeah.
Your leaves are gone. What do you think of that?
Yeah. No leaves now.
Yep. So that's something to consider too, with this round of storms that are coming through on Saturday, is if there is a lot of wind, the trees may not be able to hold on to their leaves, and therefore you just have, wood.
I almost did a real spit take just
pretty
now.
Good. You're right. You're not wrong. This is unbelievable.
I'm not wrong. I know.
Jeff's like, that's why I'm the meteorologist.
I mean,
it's just wood. There's no leaves.
If a tree has no leaves, it is literally just wood.
I've never put it that way before, but I'm glad you did.
But that's why I'm here.
That's why we love you. That's why we insist you and only you, Jeff. Okay, Jeff, just because when you say Saturday, obviously that could be midnight, right, on a Friday night. And so for people who maybe have Friday night football games, right, high school football games, activities and things like that, what time do you think that first rain really rolls in? Are you okay on Friday night?
Yes, Friday night looking pretty good.
Okay.
Starting, right around the very late overnight hours, northern Missouri is going to start seeing the influence of this rainmaker and even storms. So yeah, you totally fine unless somehow your party carries on into like the 6 a.m. hour. But that's not me anymore. I'm in bed by 8 p.m. nowadays.
Whoa. Why?
I am too,
Dude,
Jeff.
don't you? Come on, Jeff. Learn how
8
to
or 9, just because I want to get 9 hours of sleep, and then I got pickleball in the morning, and that's when everybody plays. They play before work.
I got.
Yes.
You don't have pickleball
Resident
on.
meteorologist and
people played
pickleballer.
Do you have
pickleball in the
pickleball
morning?
Do you have pickleball on Saturday?
Yeah, we have it 7 days a week.
What?
Pretty much 24/7. There's facilities that have people playing all day.
Where do you live?
Twin Cities, Minnesota.
Well, I love Minnesota.
So you have to have indoor pickleball because
Yep.
it's Minnesota.
Well, yeah, and I mean, you have indoor pickleball too. It's
Well.
just only when it rains.
Yeah, I know. We do. We have outdoor, and I don't want to brag, but things are going pretty well for us in St. Louis.
That's right,
We have
Jeff.
indoor and outdoor pickleball.
That's right.
Well, we do too. It's just outdoor lasts for 2 months, and then we're back in.
Pretty soon you'll be playing outdoor pickleball, looking at nothing but wood.
Or in this case, because we've been pretty nice in terms of drought, where we don't actually have one here. It has led to fungus, so we actually see some vibrant mushrooms, and we recently had a jack-o'-lantern mushroom group pop up, and that's literally their nickname because they actually glow. They're bioluminescent.
What?
In the dark. If you look it up, jack-o'-lantern mushroom. We have that in Minnesota, and I'm pretty sure it does extend into the Midwest.
That sounds super poisonous, though, right?
It is very poisonous.
Like
Don't touch it or eat it.
Oh, it's pretty. It's orange.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's very orange, and then it glows like a green.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
looking at the glowing, and isn't that funny that every glow in the dark, like a glow in the dark stick, like you had when you were a kid, it's all that weird luminescent green, and that's what the mushrooms do.
Omphalotus olearius. That is that's its name.
Oh.
Wow.
Yep.
All right.
Jeff, you are the best.
This is why we do learn things when we have you on. So we appreciate you
I
again.
mean, I try.
And I don't want to disparage the industry, but not all meteorologists have a sense of humor.
Right.
And you are fun to talk to, Jeff.
Yeah.
Well, you guys make it easy. You know, you give me the content, and I just roll with it.
That's right.
I don't know. If you get rid of the leaves, it's just wood. Is pretty funny.
Well,
that's good
That's
stuff.
pretty funny.
Thank you, Jeff.
Go have fun with
Oh,
pickleball.
man.
We'll talk
Yeah,
to
have
you.
fun at
We'll
pickle-
talk to you soon.
Yep, that sounds good, guys. It was good catching up with you.
Bye bye.
Meteorologist Jeff Nordine. He is the
He's our
resident Chris and Amy
weather insider.
meteorologist Jeff Nordine, weather insider.
Yeah, he's the Chris and Amy Show weather insider,
Yeah, he's talking directly with the weather, so he knows what's going to happen.
or weather outsider, I guess.
And come on. Don't forget, Major Garrett joins us at 10:30, Chief Washington correspondent for CBS News. And like every other week, there's a lot to talk to him about. So Major coming up soon in about 12 minutes on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Never predictable, always entertaining. Dave Glover, now celebrating 25 years.
Dave, Bernie Miklasz here, offering congrats on your 25 years in the business. The thing that makes the Dave Glover Show so great is Dave Glover. Your character and humility are even more powerful than your talent. Best wishes for your continued success. But one more thing, 25 years in this business, dang, dude, you're getting old.
The Dave Glover Show, weekdays at 1 p.m. on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Sponsored by Law Office of Susan L. Ward. Do you like the word thorough? It's a good word, thorough. It means complete, accurate, detailed. Well, when you go to Ophthalmology Associates, you will get a thorough eye examination. The technology is incredible. It's all up to date, the very latest. And Doctors Birdie, Malhotra, Brusati, and Royer and their staff will make your visit very personal. That's because they believe every patient is unique. Ophthalmology Associates takes all the research and technology and their personal knowledge and expertise and tailor it into an eye care plan that is as unique as you are. Services include everything from expert treatment of cataracts and retinas to comprehensive eye exams for you and the kids, and a full-service optical shop with a ton of frames to choose from. Ophthalmology Associates, 3 St. Louis area locations. Visit youridoc.com or call 314-966-5000.
Debt payments keeping you up at night? Credit cards, medical bills, personal loans. If you owe more than $10,000 in unsecured debt, we can help you settle for less. At JG Wentworth, many clients cut their debt by up to 50% before fees, potentially saving thousands of dollars. Even if your credit is damaged, we can help. And remember, you don't pay us a dime unless we reduce your debt. Call 877-CASH-NOW. The call is free. The consultation is free. And the bigger your debt, the more we can help you save. Act now. If you owe $10,000 or more, call 877-CASH-NOW. That's 877-CASH-NOW. Call right now. Your path toward financial freedom starts today with JG Wentworth. 877-CASH-NOW. Results vary. Not all debts qualify. Debt resolution impacts credit and may increase what you owe. Average savings before fees, 43%, 25% after fees. JG Wentworth does not pay debts or provide legal, tax, or credit repair services.
Hi, Debbie Monterey here with Gloria Liu, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. We've worked together for more than 5 years, and I've learned a lot about you and your business. Today, I actually found out a few things I didn't know, like your home sales stats. Compared to the average agent who sells less than 4 to 6 homes a year, you actually sell a home just about every other day. And even more impressive, your business has been built on giving back to our local community, including supporting St. Louis Children's Hospital.
Thank you. Every business should have a Go Serve Big initiative. When someone makes a referral, they're helping our communities, including St. Louis Children's Hospital, which is very special to me and my family because they helped me when I had my son many years ago. Today, sellers want to sell with certainty in this uncertain market. My upfront written guarantees are my secret to selling your home fast and for top dollar.
Friends, the secret is out. Call Gloria now at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
From your friends at Lombardo Homes, congrats to Dave Glover and the DGS Show on 25 years of building something great. Thanks for keeping St. Louis entertained, informed, and laughing all along the way.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on.
And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
News, talk, cars. 1041 FM KMOX.
There's this post on Facebook from a real estate agent, Amy, and his name is Michael Gold. And I don't really know where he actually operates out of.
St. Louis County.
Well, it's, yeah, the
St. Louis
county. The county.
Yeah.
So I guess he can find you a home somewhere, wherever you want. So he posted on Facebook his ads. He's got bus bench ads.
Yeah.
You've seen, like,
Yes.
I have seen, it seems like the only thing advertising on bus benches are real estate agents, individual real estate
even
agents.
on the show, and this is the name of the show. The name of the show is Schitt's Creek.
Yes.
And even on that show, the bus benches are all the real estate guy who also
Yeah.
does 10 other jobs in town, but it's pretty funny.
So Michael Gold has a couple of benches in the area, and on the benches, it's a photo of him, and he's kind of sitting casually with his, he's got his jacket off, he's got a shirt and a tie, and very casual, legs crossed, and apparently somebody in the area is on an anti-sign campaign. They don't like the signs on the bus benches. So Michael has posted a photo, two different photos of his bench ads. And he says, quote, posting these images on Facebook because soon my beloved bench ads might disappear.
Yeah.
I'm told that a rogue anti-sign vigilante has been on a mission to rid St. Louis County of bench ads. Now, obviously, this sick, twisted individual is from Clayton. What? And is a former politician and is pushing 80 years old. But these ads are the entirety of my advertising campaign. And although they've led to precisely zero business,
Zero new business.
I sure do love seeing my face when I go to Deerbergs. So it seems I'll have to fight to keep my freedom of expression for my giant face. So, dude, I'm going to tell you something right now. I love this agent. I don't know who Michael Gold is, but I love this guy, number one. Secondly, I need to know who this this rogue anti-sign vigilante, and why does he hate bus bench ads so much?
I love now, obviously,
He's
the
from
sick,
Clayton.
twisted individual is from Clayton.
Is that where the sick, twisted individuals are from?
Matt?
Yes. Okay.
The rogue anti-sign vigilante. What's amazing, so for people who can picture the bench, you can picture the shape of a bus bench, and it says Gold Real Estate, but the head of the real estate agent, of Michael Gold, Michael's head
Rises
sticks up above
yes.
the bench, kind of in the same way like billboards where they have the stick out part of a billboard where, so his head is higher. It looks like he's sitting on the bench because his head sticks up above the back of the bench seat. I think this post alone should be put on the benches.
It's so
It's
good.
brilliant.
Why would you hate? Who is this rogue anti-sign vigilante?
Well, maybe he thinks
who
they're-
is a former politician.
I think he thinks that my guess is this guy from Clayton finds bus bench ads to be aesthetically off-putting.
Okay. Of all the places that you would object to advertising,
Mhm.
it seems like a bus bench is the least intrusive.
Well,
How often do you really look at a bus bench? When you're stopped at a stop
if
sign,
it
you just
was
kind of
this
look
guy,
around.
I would look all the
stoplight?
time. I would look all the time if I saw this guy because his head sticks up above the bench.
It's so ridiculous.
I love that he adds that although this advertising campaign has led to precisely zero new business, I sure do love seeing my face when I go to Deerbergs.
I love the idea of buying advertising on a bus bench just because you like to see yourself when you're on the way to the grocery
I
store.
actually don't know how much a bunch
Why don't we? Why are we?
A bus bench ad costs, but why don't we do
That's
one?
what I'm going to say.
The Chris and Amy show bus bench.
Let's do it, and let's do it in an area where this anti-sign vigilante
Clayton.
might appear.
Clayton. What if we buy half the bench and so we can sit next to Michael Gold?
All right, let's look into it. It
Hey-
can't cost that much
Hey, Matt, will you find out how much a bus bench ad costs?
in St. Louis.
I think we should do it.
Who do we talk to? Who maybe the people want to help us fund it?
Maybe Michael Gold.
I bet it
Honestly.
only costs like $5.
This is what Google Gemini says.
Which is always
it's
wrong.
always-
yeah.
It says approximately $300 to $500 per bench per month.
Per month?
Yeah.
That's not going to work.
Man, that's a little pricey.
What are you living on the bench?
Yeah, no one's going to see it. We should do it. Let's see if
You know what I
the
think?
people will chip in a few bucks for us.
I think we could go in for one ad with Michael Gold, and it'll be Michael Gold Real Estate and the Chris and Amy Show, all one ad, 3 heads sticking up above the bus bench.
Let's call him.
Okay.
You
All
want
right.
to call?
Well, this is great. If you've seen the Michael Gold Real Estate bus bench and have a show of support, text in 314-436-7900.
I think this is a good new direction for us on
Me
this
too.
show. We have grown to the point where we can have a bus bench ad.
I think it's going to go over well. 100 years of KMOX.
Is it
Bus
better
bench ad.
is it better to have a bus bench ad
Uh-huh.
or to buy a bench in Forest Park?
Oh, bus bench.
I agree.
Because everyone's running by the benches. They're not sitting on them. But the bus bench you're sitting on.
Chief Washington correspondent for CBS News, Major Garrett, with us in just a few moments. We got a lot to talk about with him, including those new media rules at the Pentagon. CBS News has had to pack up and leave, apparently. It's a whole mess there. Major next on KMOX.
Let me tell you about this new Pretzel Cheddar Club. Hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ebony. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club
Is the tangy Dijon with the pretzel bun. It takes it to a whole nother level.
it goes perfectly with the chicken and the cheddar cheese and the bacon.
Man, you know how much you love bacon. And I love the different varieties. Grilled, spicy, original. It gets you nice and excited for fall.
Order the Pretzel Cheddar Club with Cherry Berry and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only, exclusions apply.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Well, we just talked to Jeff Nordine, so I don't know why I'm doing the weather now, but currently it is 67 degrees, mostly sunny, very warm today, a high of 85, partly cloudy tonight with a low of 60. The weather sponsored by the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company, pennmutual.com/STL. Chances are you have a lot of people who depend on you, your family, maybe even employees. Life insurance from Penn Mutual can provide you peace of mind and protect the most important people in your life. Ask your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL.
Thank you, Missouri, for making Genesis of St. Charles your #1 and most trusted Genesis dealer for 2025. Thrilling offers for an unforgettable season are now here at Genesis of St. Charles. For a limited time only, get 0% APR for up to 60 months on all new Genesis models. You don't want to miss this one. These offers absolutely end October 31st. Visit genesisofstcharles.com today. Based on GMA sales records for 2024 on approved credit for Genesis Finance. See dealer for details.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real. And I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Thinking about a bath remodel or swapping that old tub for a sleek, easy to clean shower? Glover here for Michael's Baths with one question. What is there even to think about? Michaels beats the competition by 30 to 50%, uses top quality materials, and backs it with over 30 years of experience. And now they'll throw in a free shower door or $500 off. Schedule a free in-home consultation, 636-775-0800, michaelsbaths.com. That's michaelsbaths.com.
Protect your liver and give it the support it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or at newnordicusa.com.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX. It's Major News with Major Garrett, our weekly conversation with CBS's chief Washington correspondent.
Also the host of The Takeout on CBS News 24/7. You can listen to it and watch it there. We talk to Major Garrett, who is, as you just heard, with us every Thursday just after 10:30. Major, how's it going?
Good morning. How is everybody? I'm doing well.
Hey, we're doing okay. So what's going on at the Pentagon?
Well, let me describe it as such. This defense secretary, or as the president calls him, the Secretary of War, that's a White House designation. Congress hasn't embraced it, so it's known as both things, Department of Defense and Department of War. But Pete Hegseth has said if you're a Pentagon reporter inside the building with a Pentagon-approved press pass, you cannot have it if you don't sign a declaration that you won't accept or report on anything, rather, that isn't Pentagon-approved. No journalist covering any beat would agree to that stipulation, not covering city council, not covering county government, not covering a state legislature, not covering a dog catcher. So the Pentagon Press Corps refused. And the secretary, through his emissary, said then you can no longer work inside the building. Not only that, you must remove all of your equipment inside the Pentagon that you use to do your journalistic work. CBS News has had equipment inside the Pentagon since it was built. Since it was built. And that was removed yesterday. It is a sad epitaph for an administration that only wants approved declarations reported by journalists. That is inconsistent, and that's putting it mildly, with every other administration that has had the privilege via a democratically won election to operate inside the Pentagon. And if anyone believes that that improves coverage of the United States military in all of its dimensions, they're wrong.
Major, going forward then, knowing that a lot of these Pentagon reporters are well known inside the institution, probably have good relationships with a lot of people who work there, how does this physical removal of the media affect reporting going forward?
It doesn't impair reporting in the sense that you can still cultivate sources, work with sources you have developed over the years. And just so everyone understands, sources are not developed because you add water to dry powder and they become sources. That's not how it happens. You establish credibility, you establish knowledge of the beat, you establish rapport. That is a long-running process. It's sometimes a contentious process, but it is always a process that takes some time. Experienced Pentagon reporters do not lose that when they lose access to the physical building. What the Pentagon loses, though, is the visibility that comes with people reporting from the Pentagon and the stature that that conveys. So this doesn't really materially impact reporters as much as it materially impacts the visibility and the viability of the Pentagon as a place to share information with the country. But this particular secretary, Pete Hegseth, doesn't want to share very much information with the country. He's only had 2 briefings in his secretaryship, far fewer, and there are far fewer regular press encounters with those who speak on his behalf. They just don't believe in that. There's also something else that's gone on that's quite separate from the physical ouster of these reporters. CBS reporters, and many others. There are now frequent polygraphs given and investigations conducted if anyone in the military is perceived to be talking to reporters. And there is a definite chilling effect on those encounters. So it was already chilly inside the building before the reporters exited yesterday. It's chillier now. This just brings a veil over the Pentagon. And that it will be, I promise you, mark my words, this will be problematic for the country and for this administration, because free and vibrant and curious and skeptical encounters with the media, though this particular government doesn't believe it, makes government better. Not in all respects, but in most respects. Mayors know that. County commissioners know that. Governors know that. Members of the House know that. Senators know that. Presidents know that. This administration will learn that over time. What it will take for it to be aware of that and to absorb that lesson, I don't know, but it will probably be unpleasant.
Well, because of this anti-media sentiment that has grown over the last decade, and a lot of it in large part because of the fake news, drum beating that happens over and over and over again, anytime there's a story that who doesn't like, because of that, there is among the public this feeling that we don't need the media. Traditional media is useless. They're dead, whatever.
Yep.
How
Sure.
do you explain to somebody that they need an independent press? And if we don't have one, the country is definitely worse off?
Well, it's a hard thing to do because it's not as if there is a record that is unblemished or untarnished when it comes to these interactions that I just described. Let me just give you two very notable examples. The Pentagon Press Corps had wide access to the building, much more access to move around and talk to people and be skeptical and scrutinize things in the run-up to the Iraq War. How did that work out? Well, there was one group of reporters in D.C. that weren't in the Pentagon that were writing skeptical stories, hard skeptical stories about all the underlying intelligence about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Those reporters were ignored in large part, not entirely, but in large part, by the press corps writ large, and particularly those who were based at the Pentagon. So it's not as if having access there gives you some sort of particularly great or penetrating insight. Sometimes it doesn't. So that's one. Vietnam War, the 5 o'clock follies, whether those were Pentagon briefings or briefings in Vietnam, were kind of like sanitized handouts of all the progress being made in Vietnam. And if you were not out actually where the infantry was in Vietnam or seeing things playing out much closer to the action, you had no sense at all of what was going on. You were just getting the pre-approved assessments from the Pentagon. That blurred the truth, misguided the country for a long time. And it took a lot of courageous reporters who were writing stories against the dominant Pentagon narrative, amplified by the Pentagon Press Corps, before that reality came to be absorbed by the public writ large. Those are two examples where having a skeptical press corps on site or nearby all of the decision makers didn't necessarily create a great result. People remember that. So I'm not saying that this process always yields the best journalistic result. I'm just saying that when we're not there, when we're not present, and when the demands are only accept this pablum sanitized version of what the government wants to say, whether it's a local government, a state government, or a federal government, people will know less. And when you know less, you can't even make an informed decision. And eventually, over time, knowing less empowers the government, disempowers the people, and creates not always, but oftentimes harmful results that benefit the people who are in the positions of power, who don't want people in positions that are disempowered to know what they're up to and why.
Yeah. And we spoke with retired Lieutenant General Mark Hertling the other day, and he brought up that there's a reason why the freedom of the press is in the First Amendment. The Founding Fathers thought that was a very important institution to establish. Major, just totally switching topics because there is a lot to get to. What can you tell us about this potential $40 billion in aid going to Argentina, which would be doubling the current $20 billion in aid package.
It kind of grew overnight, didn't it?
It grew overnight. And also, the president suggested that that money could be pulled if the Argentinian president did not win in the upcoming election there.
Yeah, I think a dispassionate observer might call that meddling in another country's politics.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what a dispassionate observer would call it. We would never accept that, ever, if some other leader of another country, under any interaction with our country, trade or otherwise, said that. We would never accept that. We would consider that blatant, insulting interference in our election. Trump has no such guardrails within himself or within what he wants the historical record to show about the whims of the United States government to reflect. It's not at all different than what he said about Brazil and tariffs and the judicial process that played out in that country under its sovereign rules of justice, dealing with Jair Bolsonaro and charges that he tried to overturn the results of a verified democratic election in Brazil. Trump applied the same tactics and the same techniques. I don't like what's going on. I will threaten your country with tariffs if you don't do what I do, injecting himself into another sovereign country's judicial system. Now he's trying to assert himself and the financial wherewithal of our country into Argentinian politics, saying if Javier Milei and his government do not win in the midterm elections soon to occur there, the money could be pulled. Now, I don't know how and why it went from 20 billion to 40 billion. I've yet to see the point-by-point explanation. It might just be because the Argentinian finance minister, somebody like that, said, "Well, we actually need more than that," and or we may not need this much, but that'll get more attention and maybe will help our political party in the midterms more. I don't know, but either way, it is way outside of the bounds of normality. It's not good for the United States reputation because it's not just about Argentina. It's not just about Brazil. It's about everyone else who interacts with us and on what basis they will interact with us in the future. And casting doubt about the believability, the reliability of America, and how willing it is to insert itself into your politics if you do or don't do what this particular president demands of you, creates barriers to interaction and cooperation going forward. I know what this president thinks about that cooperation. It always screws America. He may be right about that in some respects, but he may find himself wrong about it in far more respects and far more limited in his ability to engage when America needs help going forward.
Trump is also not a fan of his own former national security advisor, John Bolton, and the Justice Department today says that they are expected to ask a grand jury to indict him. So how far is that going to go?
Well, there's a two-stage process. Federal prosecutors can present evidence. That's what we know will happen today. Whether that evidence is sufficient within the grand jury deliberations to render an indictment, we'll find out late this afternoon. Sometimes that takes 2 days. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, depending on the complexity of the case. It's a long-running dispute with John Bolton about what he possessed, what he wrote in his book, the materials he had that went into his book. Now it's about an AOL email account. Yes, those of you who are listening, there was a time when an AOL email account was a really big deal.
I had one.
Not so much anymore. So we'll see. All I can say is this. There is a thread of consistency that runs through the indictment against James Comey, the former FBI director, the indictment leveled against Letitia James, the current Attorney General of New York, and John Bolton, the former national security advisor to the president. What is that thread? The thread is this. If John Bolton is indicted, he will be the third of these indicted people eager for their day in court, seeking no delays. Now, we know that's a fact for Letitia James and James Comey. Like, let's go. We're going to challenge this and this and this, and let's hear it out. And let's have the facts presented and the law adjudicated. They want to get to court to clear their names. Why do I bring that up? When candidate Trump was indicted, what was the strategy pursued? Delay, delay, delay. Don't get me into court. Don't have the law and the facts presented to a jury under any circumstance if it can be avoided. And it avoided it in every case except one, the Alvin Bragg indictment in New York, and that rendered a conviction. So all I'm saying is, if you believe in our court system, and I do, and if you believe in judicial process and facts and law being evaluated by a jury in the cold light of the law and the facts, Comey and Letitia James want to go to court. Sooner the better. If John Bolton is indicted, I am quite sure he will adopt the same approach. And it differs from those who were involved in creating defense motions and delay tactics on Donald Trump's behalf all throughout the campaign.
Catch The Takeout on CBS News 24/7, cbsnews.com every weeknight. It happens. Major Garrett, the host of that, chief Washington correspondent for CBS News. We appreciate you. We will talk to you next week, MIZ.
We'll talk next week.
Bye. Major Garrett. Always with us just after 10:30 on 104.1 FM KMOX. We're going to talk a little Blues hockey at 11 o'clock, so you want to stick around for that. So we are, about 20 minutes away from that? A little bit less.
13.
Yeah, well, we've got the news, and so it's going to take a little bit of time. So just after 11 o'clock, we will talk to Matthew DeFranks, who covers the Blues. They got smoked last night. I'm going to find out what's going on. This is KMOX.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler here, and I just wanted to let you know that FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming to Missouri. On December 1st, you'll finally be able to bet on all your favorite teams in all your favorite sports. And with FanDuel, there are just so many ways for you to get in on the action. And you can check it out at FanDuel.com/Missouri, where you can download the app. You can bet on everything from the money line to over-unders to which team's going to win it all on a futures bet. Plus, with live betting, you can pick which player is going to score the next touchdown or which player is going to hit the next home run and the one after that, and the one after that, and so on. And I've been with FanDuel since the very beginning. I've been using the FanDuel Sportsbook app for years when I've been in states that allow me to play, and it's a blast. It's super easy, just as easy to get your money out as it is to put your money in, by the way. So see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Visit FanDuel.com/Missouri to download the app. FanDuel, play your game. 21 and older, present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Red Kingdom is back at FanDuel Sports Network Live in Ballpark Village. See every game on the largest screen in town. Don't forget about the $25 buckets, $5 cocktails, and the best tailgate food around. Grab your friends along with KMOX and huddle up for the games at the best watch party in town. If you can't make it, but don't want to miss it down, listen to the Chiefs on KMOX or KMOX on the Odyssey app. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Our firm handles hundreds of crash cases involving semi-trucks every year. A crash case involving semis is much different, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can leave lots of money on the table. Many times there is separate insurance for the cab and for the trailer. Sometimes there are actually layers of other insurances and excess insurance that some lawyers may not know about because they don't see that many cases. We see these cases every day. Also, there are federal laws governing the hours a driver may drive in a 24-hour period and logs that are required. A crash case involving a semi-truck is a totally different animal than a simple car crash. We have lawyers who only handle these cases. It's all they do. Rolling the dice with the wrong law firm can be disastrous. Call us on your cell phone at Pound Law, pound 529. It's so easy. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Roger, tell us about your experience working with 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
We just had a very fine experience with the work that 3-Day Kitchen and Bath had done on our home. They had taken out walls and put in a new kitchen and a new bath and did it in an extremely timely manner with some of the finest workers that we've been associated with. Easy to work with. They did what we asked them to do. And each of the subs that they had, whether it was putting in the bath, the shower stalls, and they came in a timely manner. The plumber was here on time. The electricians were here when they said they would be here, and things just worked out really well for us. And I've done it myself, and it'll probably take me 2 years.
It's about time.
3 days or less.
At 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Chris Ranji, Amy Marks Kors. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Have you ever been to Michael's on Manchester? Of
course.
Michael's Bar and Grill.
I have.
Love it. Great Greek food. This is infuriating. So Michael's Bar and Grill has been hit particularly hard with dine and dash thieves, non-paying customers. And they've actually put out a warning that photos of non-paying customers will now be posted on social media. Apparently, a recent incident involved a fake $1,000 bill.
Wait, okay.
Which, I mean, that would be red flag.
Uh-huh.
A red flag would be a $1,000 bill, but they're not always like that. For instance, recently, one that happened just a couple days ago, a male customer ordered a hamburger and a couple of side dishes. The bill was about $40. He had a $100 bill and said, yeah, can you make change for this? So the server went to retrieve the change and the customer vanished, leaving behind a counterfeit $1,000 bill.
Okay, hold on. Yeah. We do know that the $1,000 bill is no longer
well, I think
thing.
that
They
was
don't make them anymore.
That was their joke, I guess, to say, I only have a 100. Can you make change?
Okay.
I guess.
Oh, it was 100, not $1,000.
Well, no, he said 100, but then left a 1,000.
Oh,
So I guess
so the
he
server
was-
didn't
yeah.
really look at it closely.
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. And so anyway, they said that this has been happening over and over again. And so not only is it stealing from the restaurant, which, by the way, restaurants work on pretty slim margins, but also the staff, you don't get tipped. Like you're hurting the staff.
Right.
And servers rely on tips. So I'm good on them. They're going to start posting pictures of you. If you dine and dash, your picture is going to be posted all over social media.
There have been studies about this, and it's something like 1 in 20 people have admitted to dine and dash.
Are you serious?
I've never done
Terrible.
that before. Yeah, it's crazy.
I would hope you wouldn't.
Yeah,
That's
don't be a
stealing.
jerk. Don't be a jerk.
I've never robbed a bank before. Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, this is another study. 5% of people walk out of a restaurant without paying. Don't do that. Don't be a jerk. Hour 3, final hour of the show is coming up next. We'll talk Blues hockey because they got spanked last night. They have not done well at home. What gives? Matthew DeFranks covers the team. He's with us next on 104.1 FM KMOX.
The This is Debbie Monterey, and I really want you to know about the trusted services that EverTrue Anywhere Care provides to older adults who want to age successfully at home. Formerly Lutheran Senior Services, their team of experts specializes in orthopedic care. They also have licensed nurses for in-home support and trained caregivers to help with household tasks like meal prep and medication reminders. Call 314-597-6498 to learn more or visit evertrueanywherecare.org. evertrueanywherecare.org.
This is Kyle Bush with Crinch Financial Group. For over 6 decades, we've helped St. Louis families and businesses plan with purpose and live with confidence. Life changes, divorce, loss of a loved one, or an inheritance. It can be overwhelming. We provide the resources, long-standing support, and thoughtful guidance you need to plan ahead. With our help and experience, you don't have to navigate these transitions alone. You can move forward with greater clarity and confidence. Your goals, our mission. Start today at kfgadvisors.com.
Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services, member FINRA/SIPC. Prince Financial Group is not a broker-dealer.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Winner of the National Edward R. Murrow Award for Breaking News. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hey St. Louis, this is Ben Barnett, board certified master arborist with Timberline Professional Tree Care. In my nearly 30 years in the industry, I've seen firsthand what damage falling trees can do to your property. The sad thing is that most trees that fail have defects that can be identified by a well-trained certified arborist. At Timberline, we have 7 ISA certified arborists, 3 of which have gone through extensive training and testing to become tree risk assessment qualified. Our track certified arborists can perform a thorough assessment of your tree and provide mitigation options for your peace of mind. If there's nothing wrong with your tree, we will let you know that it poses a low risk of failure. If it needs to be removed, we'll tell you in a detailed written report. It's all about honesty and integrity here at Timberline Professional Tree Care. So call us today to get a tree risk assessment scheduled, 636-479-7475, or contact us through our website at stltreecare.com.
It is 11 o'clock. We have 72 degrees with partly sunny skies in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. Hundreds of people mourning Israeli hostage Tamir Nimrodi after Hamas returned his body as part of a ceasefire agreement with Israel. Tamir was 18 when he was taken from his army base October 7th, 2023. Hamas has returned 10 bodies, 9 of which Israel's military has identified as hostages. President Trump says he's speaking with Russia's Vladimir Putin as he considers Ukraine's push for long-range missiles. That call comes ahead of Trump's meeting tomorrow at the White House with Ukrainian President Zelensky.
Colombia's crime problem has created a serious concern.
That's Mun Choi, president of the Missouri State University system, acknowledging there's been an uptick in violent crime around Mizzou, especially in the downtown area.
Now, I could have kept quiet about it because there are some people that are saying, well, Mun, you don't want to bring attention to that because it's going to let people know that we have issues. Well, I have a responsibility for the safety of students that attend the University of Missouri.
He says campus police are helping to patrol downtown and they are working closely with Columbia Police. Fox 2's Tim Ezel says his health issues have changed and progressed since he announced he had Parkinson's. In a conversation with friend and coworker Margie Ellisor, he shared his Parkinson's disease diagnosis has changed to multiple system atrophy, or MSA.
Blood pressure, sometimes it'll drop or it'll spike high.
at a moment's notice. And I just had too many close calls at work where it could have happened on the air that I said, you know what, I need to step away.
And he is stepping away indefinitely. As El shared, he has treatment scheduled at the Mayo Clinic and thanked his viewers for their thoughts and prayers. St. Louis City aldermen are discussing a proposed bill in committee today that would bring about new regulations and fines for golf cart drivers. It would ban golf carts from driving or parking on sidewalks. Drivers would have to be at least 16 years old with a valid driver's license and would be restricted to streets with speed limits of 25 miles per hour or less. Seatbelts, brake lights, turn signals, headlamps, all required. Violations would start at $100. From the business desk sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com, prices continue to rise. Charles Gascon, senior economist, Federal Reserve of St. Louis, says businesses report their input costs are increasing at a faster pace than any increases to customers. Gascon says they don't pass along costs, but customers may pay in other ways.
In the case of beef, for example, one of the hospitality contracts we spoke to, they did just downgrade to a lower quality beef so that they can maintain their menu prices.
Gascon says in middle and lower income brackets, consumers are pushing back, looking for deals and promotions. He adds, in higher income brackets, there's been little change in spending. Nestle cutting 16,000 jobs globally as the Swiss food giant looks to trim costs and continue with its turnaround efforts. Taking a look at the forecast that we get from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk. It should be a pretty nice day today, says Heather Zare.
Tons of clouds and sunshine this afternoon. We'll stay warm with a high of 83. Low 63, partly cloudy tonight, then partly sunny and warm, high 84 tomorrow. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zare on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Sponsored by Chesterfield Fence and Deck, your premier provider of fences, decks, patios, sunrooms, and more. Call them for a free estimate today, now offering 20% off your next outdoor project. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, chesterfieldfence.com. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores with you on a Thursday. And yesterday was not great at the Enterprise Center for your St. Louis Blues.
I stayed up late for this.
I know. That's the only thing with the late games is it feels higher risk because if your team doesn't win, and particularly if you get shellacked, you go to bed angry. And the Blues were shellacked. They lost to the Blackhawks 8-3. And to tell us why and to tell us how to fix it, we are welcoming in Matthew DeFranks, Blues beat writer for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Matthew, thank you for joining us this morning because it had to have been a late one for you last night.
Yeah, I don't know if I have all the answers how to fix it though. That's you're asking a lot from me there.
Well, I thought it's always great to start an interview with an enormous amount of pressure. That's what I feel.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm not used to hearing Blues fans boo that much in the first place, but we heard boos in the home opener when they lost that game 5-0 to Minnesota, and the Boo Birds were out last night as well, as you noted in your piece this morning.
Yeah, I think even worse than whatever boos were there were kind of the sarcastic cheers, the Bronx cheers when Joel Hofer makes a save, and it wasn't. I mean, at this point, it was about 12 minutes left in the third period. The game was already over. He'd already given up the two really bad goals in the first period. So we're at that point probably 2 hours removed from those goals, and it game's out of hand, and suddenly it's the sarcastic cheers coming from the crowd. So I feel like that one's probably got to sting more if you're a player than the boos. I mean, when you're not playing well, you kind of expect to hear one noise, and then when you start getting made fun of, basically, that's probably a whole different feeling.
I mean, it's only their second home game of the season, and I mean, I get that it's frustrating. It's inexplicable that this team now 0-2 at home. They've been outscored 13-3 at home, and Matthew, this team looked worse than the Minnesota squad we saw. The team that played against. The version of the team we saw play against Minnesota. But in Canada, that road trip, I feel like the pendulum has just swung from a team that has chemistry on its lines, skating hard and back checking, aggressive on the forecheck, solid in goal. We saw that in Canada, but it's fallen apart on both ends of that trip at home.
Yeah, I think even that Minnesota game, like it was such a letdown because it was the season opener and because there's all the expectations and the excitement of the off season, and they come home and then they lay that egg. But the score aside, I didn't think they played horribly. I mean, that first period, you got a couple bad bounces. They really controlled the second period of that game with the first 13 shots on goal. They gave up a 3-0 goal, and then that was basically it. You know, that after they fell behind 3, the rest of the game really didn't matter all that much. But up until that point, I thought they played actually okay, despite what the score said. And then, as you mentioned, in Canada, you know, in Calgary, Hofer was basically the reason that they won that game against the Flames. And then Bennington was solid in Vancouver. And so last night, you have kind of bad 5-on-5 play, bad goaltending. Like there was nothing that really went right other than, you know, maybe Dylan Holloway getting on the board. I think if you're a Blues fan, like that's an encouraging sign to see him get a goal. But yeah, it was a bit of a surprise, especially I think given the caliber of the Blackhawks team. Like I know this is the NHL and teams can win on any given night, but like that's not a team that's to be battling for a playoff spot. And they come into St. Louis and put 8 goals. So pretty surprising performance, I would say.
It's only been 2 games at home, so you know you don't want to make too big of a deal out of 2 games. At what point does it become an actual thing?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a thing now. I think particularly with the way that they've lost. If they went out and lost a couple 1 or 2 goal games, and you know they're in the games, maybe they're down 1 and they give up an empty netter, and you know, so a 2-goal final, like that's different than, you know, third periods that don't matter. And like as you mentioned with the late start, like I was sitting there and I looked to Tom Timmerman sitting next to me, and it's the third period. I'm like, well, I don't know why these people are still here. It's 11 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock on a Wednesday.
Go home.
And it's like a 7-3 or 8-3, whatever it was at that point. Like, what are you doing here?
Yeah,
I'm getting paid to be here, but I don't know what you guys are doing here. So like, and I looked up, I did the research on it. Like, this is the first time in franchise history they've lost their first 2 home games by at least 5 goals.
Wow.
It's happened before where they've lost consecutive home games by at least 5. Hasn't happened since 2006. The last time they lost multiple home games by at least 5, like at any point in the season, was actually in December of 2018 before their big turnaround that ended with the Cup. So, I mean, it's happened before, but not quite like this at this time.
You know, trying to come up with a positive from last night after Joel Hofer just completely misplayed the puck, was not on the same page as Pavel Buchnevich, who was skating back towards the net, and Hofer made a great pass to the Blackhawks player. But, you know, when that happened, it felt like, oh no, is this how this game is going to go? But then the Blues bounced back just over a minute later with Jake Neighbors' goal, which I thought, you know what? The Blues have Hofer's back. They're back in it. Then the Blackhawks scored, and then the Blues fought back again with Dylan Holloway's goal, and it felt like even at that point, even though, you know, Hofer's mistake, which I felt terrible for him, you felt like, okay, this is a team that's going to fight back, keep fighting. I did not expect the game to immediately get out of hand. I mean, there are holes in the defense. There were signs, but I was hoping, I guess, that they would continue to fight back.
Yeah, and even with Hofer himself, I think maybe when you give up those 2 goals to start, as an onlooker, you start looking for signs that he's getting back to his game. And, you know, the turnover, I think you're going to have to just live with that sometimes, particularly with how much Joel Hofer handles the puck. I mean, he's one of the best puck handling goaltenders in the league. And, you know, when you handle it so often, you're going to have turnovers. It's going to happen. It's not always going to happen quite like that, but they will happen. And so I think you can live with that to a certain extent. But the next goal, the Reichel goal that basically goes through him and beats him, like that's that's a tough goal. That's a tough goal
Yeah.
to give up. And then, but after that, like when it's 2-2, he makes a big save on a Tyler Bertuzzi breakaway. You know, Reichel has another chance when he's driving towards the net, and he makes a big save on that. And you're kind of wondering, is Hofer kind of figured himself out? Has he gotten those mistakes out of the way? The Blues are playing. It's a tie game. He looks okay in net now. And then it just doesn't go that way in the second period too. So, I don't know. It's just one of those things that you don't expect the goalies to be this bad too on home ice. You know, I think Binnington didn't have the best opener against Minnesota, obviously, and then Hofer, you know, he gave up 7 goals in his NHL career for the first time. So, you kind of hope that they would get back into it in the second, and it just didn't happen.
You know, Blues fans have already started to really debate and break down the trade for for Logan Mailloux, trading Zach Bolduc to the Montreal Canadiens. Now, Bolduc has had a heck of a start in the first 3 games with the Canadiens. He scored 3 goals, only the 7th player to do so in that franchise. And Mailloux has had some struggles, is still obviously maturing into that position on the blue line. What do you make of that debate amongst Blues fans already?
Yeah, I think this first week of the regular season has gone about as poorly as it could have gone in regards to that trade.
Mm-hmm.
Like Bolduc, I think he even had a goal taken away, and I think that's what his assist is from this year. So like he scored 3, and he could have maybe had a 4th, and so like you look and see what Bolduc's doing there, and then you connect that with the search for a third line winger in St. Louis, and then you look at what Mailloux's done, and it hasn't been really that good. I mean, last night had a turnover to Connor Bedard that led to I think it was Alex Lassett's goal, and then you had a pinch in the offensive zone that led to Frank Nazar's goal on the rush. Even in the third period, he had a turnover that was a pretty bad giveaway. So, Mailloux has had some struggles, and I think it hurts Blues fans to see what Bolduc's done because the production is so tangible there.
Yeah.
And, Mailloux's play, I think today or yesterday was his 12th NHL game ever.
Right. And he's so young, and also Bolduc had some experience in the league already, and defensemen, they take longer to develop. That's just the way it works.
Yeah, and I like because Bolduc was more of the proven thing, the sure thing, and Mailloux was a little bit of a riskier proposition because you had to project him a lot more. Like you didn't see what he did in the NHL. There's an argument there that maybe the Blues should have gotten something else in the package. But I think it's clear the Blues identified the player and liked the player, and I think they just made a deal around that. But I think when you look at some of these, forward for defensemen, young player trades, a lot of times I think you can make the argument that the defensemen kind of end up in a better spot. Seth Jones got traded for Ryan Johansson as a Columbus-Nashville trade. And I think at their peaks, you would probably make a pretty compelling case that they were equal, but over the long haul, I think Seth Jones has probably had a better career.
Pronger traded for Brendan Shanahan traded for Chris Pronger, who was hated here. Here.
Yeah. And then there's the one with Tampa and Montreal with Mikhail Sergachev and Jonathan Drouin. And Sergachev has had the better career versus Drouin. So I think some of these deals take a long time to judge, but it's tough when it's just a 1-for-1 deal as well, because it's easy to compare. This is who it could have been. The opportunity cost is very clear there. So I think it's going to be something that Blues fans will probably be talking about not only this week, this month, this year, but probably a couple of years too.
So I'm thinking about I'm listening to you guys talk about this, and I'm thinking about that line from Apollo 13, the movie, where everything is going to hell, and the flight director says, "So what do we got on the spacecraft that's good?" So is there anything that is good with the Blues right now? I mean, it's 2-2. It's not like it's awful, right?
No, yeah, it's not awful. I think like the last night the goaltending's performance kind of overshadows what they're able to do on the road. like they've had 2 good games and 2 bad games. It's not like it's been 4 bad games for them. So like that's been okay. Jimmy Snuggerud being able to find a little bit of rhythm in Vancouver was nice. Jake Neighbors has 4 goals in 4 games. That's something where he was kind of almost a forgotten guy heading into the season, because the Blues kind of listed out their top 6 wingers, and it was Buchnevich, Snuggerud, Kyrou, and Holloway. And Neighbors was kind of like an afterthought, like, oh yeah, he'll be on the third line with Suter and whoever else will be on that line. So he was kind of a forgotten man, so to speak, when accounting for the young talent the Blues have. And he's come out, scored 4 goals in 4 games, and that's a positive. I think the power play can get going a little bit more. And there's always improvements to make, but I don't think it's all doom and gloom. They just have a big test on Saturday when Dallas comes in.
Good.
Gotta win Saturday.
Matthew DeFranks covers the Blues for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, STLtoday.com. We appreciate you. Thanks for visiting with us today.
Absolutely, guys.
That is Matthew DeFranks. They're 2-2. It's fine.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
But it would
They'll be okay.
Great if they could win Saturday. I feel like that's an important one. Maybe even a must win.
Oh, a must? That's not a must win yet. Stop it. Gas House Gang happens with Bernie Miklas today. We will talk to him. It'll be Bernie and me, Chris Ranji. Starting at 12 o'clock, we'll talk some sports with Burn Dog. That's coming up. Burn Dog Millionaire. He's going to join us here. Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Herman's Hermits, starring Peter Noon.
Something tells me I'm into something good.
And the Lovin' Spoonful.
Do you believe in magic?
Saturday, October 25th at the Family Arena with the Hollies' greatest hits, starring Terry Sylvester. Get tickets now at the Carroll House Furniture box office, located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Herman's Hermits, starring Peter Noon and the Lovin' Spoonful.
Starship featuring Mickey Thomas. With John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band. Shooting Star.
Last chance to believe in yourself.
In Missouri. Saturday, November 15th, the Family Arena. Reserve seats on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office, located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster.
Are you tired of online threats? Then get an antivirus. It's the only online protection you will ever need.
Disclaimer: an antivirus is just half protection online. It will not protect you from snoopers or encrypt your traffic. So get better online protection with NordVPN. NordVPN will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware and phishing, and stop annoying ads. Save 77% on NordVPN and get 3 extra months.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hi, Stacy with Fairwinds Rivers Edge Senior Living in St. Charles. Are you a senior seeking a fun retirement? Do you want less work and more play? Do you want to enjoy great food that you don't have to cook? Then I know. Stop what you're doing right now and call Fairwinds. Set up a time to visit and have a meal. Meet some of our awesome residents. Check us out online at fairwindsriversedge.com. We hope to talk with you soon.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Working full-time but still falling behind? Learn how real estate education can help you build income and get ahead on your terms. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Total Information AM. Weekdays 5 to 9 on the voice of St. Louis. 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Good morning. My name's Joe, and I just want to compliment both of you on the wonderful program you provide for us each morning. It's just great. I really appreciated, Chris, your comments yesterday about Mike Schilt. And Amy, thanks so much for all your insights each day. Thanks again for all your input you put on the show each morning. It's just great to listen to. Thank you so much.
Joe.
That is really kind.
What a
Thank
guy,
you, Joe. What
Way
did
to
you
go, Joe?
Thank you, Joe. I really appreciate it. He left that voice message on the Odyssey app.
Yeah.
And super easy to do.
You can do that.
Download the Odyssey app and go to KMOX, and right there on that main page, you'll see a little microphone icon, and you push it.
Even Amy can do it.
That's rude. What'd you say about Mike Schilt that garnered such praise?
You know, listen, whatever it was, Amy, it was poignant. It was insightful.
Uh-huh.
And it was dominant.
You don't dominant.
I don't know. I think
I don't know.
Here's
Mike Schilt.
I was dominating Mike Schilt. So what I said yesterday, and I don't know if he meant during this show or during Gas House Gang.
I think he probably meant Gas House.
Well, the report came out. There were multiple reports. John Heyman with the New York Post and Kevin Acee with the San Diego Tribune. And I mean, what you heard from multiple coaches who worked under him, unnamed coaches, was that he was kind of difficult to work for. And he was great with players, just kind of let them police the clubhouse themselves, which a lot of managers do. That's not unusual. But I guess to his subordinates, very difficult to work with. And I don't know. I mean, one of the points I made was that I think when people hear who have been complaining about his firing a couple of years ago and mad at Ollie Marmol with the way the team has played the last couple of seasons and saying things like, I never should have fired Mike Schilt. Well, maybe there was a reason for it. And I'm not sure that one of the bits of reporting was that there were people on the coaching staff with the Cardinals a couple of years ago that threatened to quit if he was back.
Ron,
so the point is, I'm not sure that people quite understand the reasons managers are fired sometimes. Is that it's not always X's and O's. It's not bullpen changes, lineup decisions. It's not that. Sometimes it's how well do they work with people.
Yeah, there's always more to the story. I think people, especially fans, we can be reductionist and just say, oh, well, these are the two options. They're either cost cutting or they just didn't like him anymore. Well, what are you talking about? Like, there are so many things behind the scenes, which to that point, Ranj, the fact that this is all coming out, at least the way I've observed it, is this is all kind of like, wow, all of this news is coming out. And like you said, even down to the time when Schilt was with the Cardinals, is it not kind of amazing that none of that leaked from the Cardinals?
Yeah, a little bit. Because think
stuff
that
always leaks, right? Stuff always gets out. And I was not aware of this at all.
Yeah, you would think that within the last couple of years, somebody would have reported or it would have gotten out that he's maybe a pain in the ass.
Especially when like John Mozeliak and the Cardinals are taking so much heat for it. They're catching so much flack and still none of that leaked.
Yeah, and a couple of things can be true here. It can be true that he's really good with players. He's really good with people he interacts with and is also supremely difficult if you work for him as a coach. Those things can all be true. And I want people to understand, and I'm not sure that many do, but we should probably also understand that if he were the manager of the 2025 Cardinals, they would not be the 2025 Padres. They would be exactly about what they just were.
Yeah.
And Ollie, his team this past year, probably overperformed. They probably got more wins than they should have gotten based on the production they got from their players because the players weren't good enough.
So I'm not saying, because you don't know this, you weren't there. I don't know if you've experienced something like that, even like your time with the White Sox or whatever. But what would that look like, a manager who's great with players and bad with coaches?
Mike Shildt? I don't know.
No, that's not what I meant.
I don't know.
Yeah,
What does it look like?
Like, what would that, because I actually assumed that Shildt was bad with players too.
Yeah, so there was
like, that's
no.
what I thought.
So to a lot of managers, the clubhouse where the players dress and hang out, that's just their space. The manager can be close to it. He'll have an office close to it or just off the actual clubhouse. But the managers just kind of let them be. It's, and that's what it looks like. But he could, and this was I can't remember if it was the San Diego Tribune or Heyman's reporting, but he could be in the room with a coach berating one of them or all of them or whatever, and then walk out in the clubhouse with a huge smile like, hey guys, what's going on? To the players, which again, completely different, And so if it just doesn't work, if they can't work well with subordinates, well, then sometimes a change is going to happen. And it sounds like, based on that reporting and a couple of things that I have heard also, that he is a my way or the highway kind of guy, and that can be fine, but sometimes it doesn't fly with the front office. And managing in baseball now is a lot different than managing in baseball 15 years ago. It is, you are not the big dog in charge when you're the manager these days. It's just not how it works.
My way or the highway sounds like Matt Pajeski.
Yeah, he's kind of like that.
What? No such thing.
Time to break.
Yeah. Quick, go to break now. He's yelling at us. Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Wake up informed. Wake up empowered. Wake up to Total Information AM, your morning must.
Hi, this is Debbie Monterey. I'm Megan Lynch.
This is Tom Ackerman. From local news to breaking headlines to weather, traffic, and the stories that matter most, we've got you covered before your first sip of coffee. Expert analysis, bright perspectives from the people you trust. Total Information AM, your day starts here. Mornings beginning at 5 on 104.1 FM, KMOX. Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Currently, it is 73 degrees. Sunny, very warm today, a high of 85. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 60. If we get that severe weather later on in the week, keep it tuned to KMOX. Weather sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
In the 70s, baseball player Jerry Kelly decided to do something different.
Thanks for calling Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
This year, the company Jerry started decided we'd do something different.
Thanks for calling Jerry Kelly Heating, Air and Electrical.
And electrical.
JerryKelly.com. Coins. SNL Coins pays top dollar for your gold and silver coins, old currency, gold-filled jewelry, scrap gold and silver, silver plating, gold and silver bullion. Get a quote with a call to SNL at 544-3600. SNL Coins, 544-3600. Or visit SNL Coins at 9300 Gravois, just east of McKenzie. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 Saturday. Before you sell, call SNL, 544-3600.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they're very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real. And I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Dave, congratulations on your 25th anniversary from BioBalance Health, Dr. Sullivan, and me personally.
You have single-handedly helped us reach hundreds of new patients, both men and women, over the past 15 years.
Since 2010, BioBalance has been treating men and women over the age of 40 with testosterone pellets and preventative medicine. BioBalance Health was the first medical hormone pellet practice in St. Louis. Now we are the most successful.
Dave has not only been our partner at BioBalance Health, but also our patient and great friend.
Thanks, Dave.
The Chris and Amy Show is video streaming now on KMOX's YouTube, X, and Facebook pages. Click and subscribe.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, and October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And Purina, just down the street from us, and their Purple Leash Project are helping to create more pet-friendly domestic violence shelters so violence and their pets can stay together and heal together. This is a huge deal, something that you wouldn't necessarily think about unless you've experienced it yourself. And so important to get that message out. So joining us now is Kim Beardsley. She's the Director of Community Affairs with Purina. And Kim, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
I love the Purple Leash Project and what Purina is doing. And maybe to kind of set the table on why it's so important that shelters, domestic violence shelters, accept pets.
Yeah. So domestic abuse actually impacts way more than we think. 1 in 3 women experience it within their lifetimes and 1 in 4 men. And so about a decade ago, when Purina got involved in this cause, we learned that only 3% of domestic violence shelters nationwide accepted pets. And that meant that 48% of women were delaying leaving their abusive situation because they didn't have anywhere to go with their entire family, including their pets. And what we do know also is that abuse often impacts everyone in the household, not just the women and the children, but also the animals. And so we knew, as the largest pet food company, we had an obligation to do something so that we were able to help keep women and families safe, but also make sure those pets were safe as well.
And just to kind of reiterate that, so almost half of women don't leave an abusive situation because of that pet. And I know that a lot of times the abuser will use the pet as leverage, will threaten the pet, will say, if you leave, I'll kill that pet. And because domestic violence is so isolating and people can be filled with pain, trauma, and shame, a lot of times that pet may be the only friend that the abuse survivor feels that they have. So, I mean, it is deeply emotional and psychological.
Exactly. You know, if you're a pet owner, you know that those animals just provide us unconditional love all the time, every day. And that bond is so important when you're in a crisis situation. And this is a perfect example of that.
So we know what this project is, what the program is. How does it work exactly?
So if you go to purpleleashproject.com, you can learn about it. But essentially, it's a national grant program that Purina funds in partnership with a national nonprofit called Red Rover. And we came together because we just have this shared mission of bringing and keeping people and pets together, especially in times of crisis. And so it's really a true partnership Red Rover assists us with actually going to these shelters and making the renovations, and Purina funds the grants. And so since starting almost a decade ago, we've taken the count of pet-friendly domestic violence shelters from 3% nationwide to about 20% nationwide. Right now, we have about every state within the United States has a pet-friendly domestic violence shelter. But we know we need to do more. Here in St. Louis, abuse survivors have a couple options on where they can go with their pets, but we would like to see more shelters take on programs like this.
By the way, donations that are made from now until the end of the year, so it's December 31st, Purina's matching 100% of that.
Exactly. So 100%, and we're trying to raise $1 million.
Purina.com if you want to make a donation.
Yeah.
Can you, I know because October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, I know you have different events that you want people to know about. So what do we need to know?
Yeah, we've been supporting community events for domestic abuse organizations all month long. Today, October 16th is our Purple Thursday. It's a national day of action. And so we actually come together with landmarks across the city to turn the city purple in recognition and support of survivors. This Saturday, Purina will actually be out at the Domestic Violence Awareness Rally and Walk in the Grove. That starts at 9:30. There's a walk around 11 a.m. and then the festival goes until 2 p.m. And that is a great place to go. If you know of anyone who's experienced abuse and you want to show support, get out there. It's there's bands, there's entertainment, there's food, but it's really a true celebration of survivorship. And there's also resource booths. Every organization in the city that offers support to survivors is going to be there exhibiting and sharing the resources that they can provide.
So as this project has been ongoing, you have personally met with and worked with a lot of survivors. Is there a story or two that really sticks with you of somebody who did make it and in part because of Purple Leash?
Yeah. You know what sticks with me the most is how abuse can start out so small. And it starts out with just the abuser trying to inflict some kind of control, and it can escalate into a situation that really feels like it's hard to leave. I've heard that it takes 7 attempts to leave before you can actually get to safety. And so it's really important, if you know someone who's encountering this now or in the past, it's important to just continue to provide that support and continue to point them to resources that can help. Because it is a slow process where an abuser inflicts that level of control, and it's hard to leave, and it also has no boundaries, really. There's no socioeconomic guidelines to a situation like this. It can impact anyone, no matter where you live, no matter what you look like.
And I think too, when you're in that type of situation, and if you haven't been in that type of situation, it can be hard to understand. Why doesn't that person leave? Like you said, it can take such a long time. And a lot of time the abuser has a lot of quote unquote, redeeming qualities. Like if someone was 100% bad, it would be easy to say, oh, of course you don't like that guy or don't like that person. But so many times there's the professions of love. There may be gifts. There may be a kind acts. And whether it's like a narcissist type behavior, like abusers have a hold on that person because it's like a psychological abuse as well as other types of abuse, where they can seem nice or kind. They may even be charming. And then it's so difficult to get out of that situation because it's a slow tightening of the grip.
Exactly. Yeah. Abuse comes in many forms. It's not just what we see on TV or in movies. It can be, like you said, psychological, financial. It's just a series of events that isolates that person from their support system.
And I will say this, there's a new, you can donate you can get involved. You can donate to the Purple Leash Project. I also love the Courageous Together collection. You can buy Purple Leash products like beautiful jewelry or shirts. And that was curated by Sarah Hyland, the actress from Modern Family. She's partnered with you guys.
She's a survivor herself.
She is a survivor of a domestic abuse situation.
Yeah, like I said, it impacts 1 in 3 women. So, and that really, it makes no difference where you're from or where you're at right now in your life. It can impact anyone. And so, yeah, we have partnered with many survivors who are now celebrities, and they have really helped us get the word out about this.
And so you get a lot of support from the community. How about business leaders, that sort of thing? Are you getting much in that way?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we've got Stiefel, Enterprise Center, Energizer Park, Union Station, all coming together and lighting up purple tonight. We've got a number of people who work for the city of St. Louis who are going to be wearing the Purple Leash Project lapel pins today and really helping spread the word. I mean, it's been really heartening to see the community come out and support survivors this month.
And again, can you let people know different ways they can get involved? Any websites that they need to know?
So if you want to learn about Purple Leash Project, it's purpleleashproject.com. And you can get links to how to donate or purchase the Courageous Together collection. But if you yourself or a loved one is experiencing domestic abuse, you can call 1-800-799-7233, or you can text BEGIN to 88788.
That's 800-799-7233. If you are experiencing this right now and you're looking for help, and also as Kim said, Purina.com or purpleleashproject.com, and you can find all the information, ways to donate, and ways to get involved there.
And then just quickly, Saturday in the Grove.
Saturday in the Grove.
One more time.
Starts at 9:30. It's the Domestic Violence Awareness Rally and Walk. We expect 1,000 people to be out. Every local resource will be there exhibiting, sharing information. But it, again, is really, I know it's a hard topic to talk about and discuss, but it's a celebratory event. It celebrates survivors and shows that we can support them as a community.
And domestic abusers, count on people not talking about it. Count on that shame having that stranglehold. So if we can come together as a community, talk about it, raise awareness, and be there to support victims and survivors of domestic violence, we can help women, help people in that situation.
Kim Beardsley, Director of Community Affairs with Purina. We appreciate you coming in again. Thank you for stopping by.
Thanks so much. We appreciate the support.
Chris and Amy on 104.1 FM KMOX.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. A question I get all the time is, how did we become the largest injury firm in the world? We have over 1,000 lawyers in all 50 states and close to 6,000 coworkers. Our call center is on duty 24/7. You can reach us at any time at forthepeople.com. But the real reason is we won a lot. When you visit our website, go to our verdicts and settlements. There you will see what our clients were offered and what they were awarded at trial. All those verdicts help us resolve many cases fairly and early. You see, nothing beats reputation. The insurance industry knows who we are. We even have insurance adjusters call us for representation because they know too. We've made it easy. On your mobile device or computer, go to forthepeople.com and we will get busy. It's that easy. Call today. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
KMOX proudly supports the Musial Awards, returning to Stiefel Theater Saturday, November 22nd. You can be in the audience for this nationally televised event, hosted right here in St. Louis. Named for Stan the Man, the show celebrates the year's greatest moments of sportsmanship and those who embody class and character. Experience the extraordinary moments and people that make the Musial Awards an event like no other. For more information, KMOX.com/events.
House stealing. It's a nightmare that's real. It's the FBI's term for thieves stealing your home's title and draining your equity. Just one fake document filed with a recorder, and scammers can own your home on paper, drain your equity, and do it all without you even knowing. Imagine waking up to a foreclosure or eviction notice. Listen to former title thief Matt Cox.
What people don't realize is the ease in which this crime can happen. I can take the deed to your house and I can transfer that deed into my name. It's a great crime, and it's happening all the time.
So how can you stop the nightmare and protect yourself? Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO and get a 30-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Don't wait. Go to HomeTitleLock.com now, promo code RADIO.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. The winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
I dared Archwell Health to keep track of my vitals and my grandkids' names.
I dared Archwell Health to simplify my prescriptions, so Max and I have more time to play. Good boy.
And I dared Archwell Health to be closer than my neighborhood coffee shop.
Our members dared us to do more as a primary care provider for adults age 60 and up. So we made it our mission. Visit archwellhealth.com and become a member today. Archwell Health. We dare to care.
Let's face it, planning for retirement can be overwhelming and stressful. And with the headlines full of record inflation, changing interest rates, the threat of a recession, and the possibility of Social Security disappearing, all feel like roadblocks to reaching that retirement finish line. All of these issues can have a major impact on your life savings. So the question is, what are you going to do about it? Well, join us for an exclusive educational event October 21st and 23rd. Discover the tools, strategies, and insights you need to make informed decisions about your financial future in retirement. Seating is limited, and you must register to attend. Call 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824. 636-230-8824.
Wake up informed. Wake up empowered. Wake up to Total Information AM, your morning must.
Hi, this is Debbie Monterey.
I'm Megan Lynch.
This is Tom Ackerman. From local news to breaking headlines to weather, traffic, and the stories that matter most, we've got you covered before your first sip of coffee. Expert analysis, bright perspectives from the people you trust. Total Information AM, your day starts here. Mornings beginning at 5 on 104.1 FM, KMOX. Chris Ronchi, Amy Markscores, because life is too short for boring radio. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Hello, everyone. Gas House Gang coming up at 12 o'clock. Bernie Miklasz and Chris Ronchi, that's me. We will be on that with you. We got plenty to get into today. We appreciate you. A little sports talk right in the middle of your day during the lunch hour, and you've been very kind to us by listening. 314-436-7900. We were talking about Michael's, the place on Manchester and McCausland, which is a really great, nice little Greek place, and they've had a lot of Dine and Dash folks coming in. And a texter here said, I've walked out of a few restaurants after waiting 45 minutes for my food and it not arriving. Now, okay, this one I kind of understand, because if you're in a place that for whatever reason the kitchen is backed up, maybe they're short-staffed in service, you're just not getting service, you're having a tough time getting people to come by the table. I don't think it's a problem walking out. My objection is when the food comes, you eat the food, you drink all the drinks, and then you get up and leave, right? I mean, the same principle exists. I guess they're still out the food if they have made your food for you. But what do you expect people to do? They can't wait for an hour.
Yeah.
They're not going to wait for 90 minutes for your food to show up unless that's just the thing for that place and you know it going in.
Yeah, 45 minutes. I'm like, I know it's really frustrating. One time I had a bad experience where from the time we sat down to the time we got our food was 2 hours.
Yikes.
And I'm not exaggerating because it was my birthday and I felt so bad because like my parents and my siblings, and you think, well, it was a huge party. No, it was only 6 of us. That's not that big. And 2 hours. And that was a horrible experience. And it does kind of bring the evening down because everyone gets kind of crabby, because you're just like hungry and you're trying to be nice, but you kind of want to leave. But 45 minutes, I don't think I would leave after 45 because that does happen. Kitchens get backed up, but it is frustrating. I cannot believe I just forgot about this. This happened about 2 months ago. We were at a restaurant. We were on a patio because it was nice out. Strangely, it was nice out, and our food was taking forever, and I was really hungry. And it was not a fancy place; it was like a bar and grill, right? So, and it had been everything was taking a long time getting served, getting the menus and so forth, and then by the time we got our food, I bet it was an hour and 15 minutes had gone by, and I was really hungry, and I said, "Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to Dierberg's. It's just down the street. I'm going to get some food and come back and eat that while we're waiting for our food." So I did. I got up from the table because there were a few people at the table. I drove to Dierberg's. I got some food. When I was checking out at Dierberg's, they said, "Hey, our food arrived."
Yeah, of course.
And
I can't believe you.
I said, "Of course I would. It would." I mean, it'd been an hour and 15 minutes. So I ate a half a sandwich. I got like a King of the Hill sandwich. I ate a half a sandwich on the, drive back, the few minutes drives back to the restaurant. And I sat down and ate dinner. But I got to the point where I didn't like who I was becoming as a person because I was so hungry.
A couple of things here. First of all, people who their moods completely change and they become grouchy to everybody around them because they're hungry a little bit. Come on, man. Get it together.
It's not a hungry a little bit.
Get it together. Get this hangry thing. Get it together.
Oh, I think it's real. And like I said, it wasn't
That's number
mean,
one.
but I just didn't like how I was starting to feel it. I was so
You're not starving.
hungry.
You're hungry. You'll be okay.
Yeah,
you're
but
gonna get another meal.
You also aren't running 20 miles and
I'm
then
not talking about you.
But that's what I mean. Like it had
just
been like
normal
6-7 hours.
Normal people get hangry all the time, and I don't get it. You need to figure it out.
Americans are not hungry very often. A lot of us are not hungry very often.
Hangriness is a nonsensical idea.
But I was
Secondly,
hungry.
I was at a wedding, the one I went to in Michigan last year, and they did a kind of not a self-service thing, but they had a caterer that you walked up with your plate and then they put food on it for you. And then you went to your seat, and the line was taking so long that people were getting really hungry. And there was a bar across the street, and a bunch of people left, and they just said, we're going to go eat across. So they went to the bar across the street, ordered food, came back, and people were still in line for food.
Oh, that's rough. So, okay.
At a wedding, you expect to get served.
A 618 makes a good point. They said, I think it depends on if they, meaning like the restaurant servers, are apologetic and give us updates. Also, a complimentary drink or, something like that might help. And I will say this, which is why we didn't leave the patio restaurant. One, we liked that restaurant. And two, the server was so apologetic because everyone was mad because the kitchen was super backed up. I mean, it should not take an hour and a half to get a chicken sandwich, a Caesar salad. It was that type of thing. And so people were mad, and she was so apologetic that, like I said, we weren't mad, but I was going to die. So I drove to Dierberg's.
So the person whose wedding that I'm talking about, she and her husband, there's a group of us that go to Chicago every year for Christmas, and we go to the Christmas bars. And we went to one for lunch one day as we're, getting ready for the day. And the kitchen was taking forever, and she had ordered a turkey BLT, and it took over an hour, and she was getting hangry and I mean, really grouchy, and which I kind of get, I guess.
Tracks.
And so finally the sandwich shows up, and turkey, it was a turkey BLT. Did not have turkey, nor did it have the B. It was just lettuce and tomato and cheese.
A condiment sandwich.
I thought it was so funny.
Yeah.
I laughed at her.
Yeah.
I was
You
LOLing because she waited forever for this sandwich. A turkey BLT with no turkey and no B? Just an LT?
How does that happen?
I don't know. It was awesome though. Finally, my food is here. Oh, great. Where's the meat? I loved it.
Where's the meat?
I loved it because it didn't happen to me, All right, Gas House Gang is coming up. If you missed anything on this show today, wherever you get your podcasts, you can listen to the Chris and Amy show. You can get the, if you got a smart speaker at home, just tell it to play Chris and Amy, and it will. It's awesome. We'll be back tomorrow, unless we are terminated in the meantime. 9 o'clock. Amy Marks Kors, Chris Ranji. We will be back with you. Thank you for listening. Thanks for playing. Thanks for being a part of our day. Gas House Gang, Bernie Miklasz and Chris Ranji next on KMOX.